Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today for a very special event, CPL 7. We did some preseason casting, but we're starting things with a big bang as we approach the real season starting off. This weekend's got a lot of great events, and we're starting off with the classic thing we do every season, the Coaches Showmatch. I'm State Zero, here with me today, Cold Warp Gates. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
Fantastic. Everyone in the chat, let me know about audio levels. I haven't really casted with Cold this season yet, so we'll figure it out on the fly, but what we don't have to figure out is all these games. We have 6 matchups. It's, I would say best of 2, but really they just play 2 games each. I played it on a set map pool, and it's going to be a good time. We had a TL post up. You guys made predictions about it, and these are just some of the great coaches we have available to us. We have many more than this as well. So look forward to being in CPL 7, working with some of these amazing players. And man, I'm just so excited. But just in case you don't know about it, tomorrow is that team reveal stream. Maybe some of these guys are on your team. You should check that out. Be here tomorrow at noon, and you can find out if you're working with someone in particular.
Exactly. Find out who you'll have to bribe. It's important.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what we're going to get started with, though, the list that we're doing is not the list that you see on the TL thread. We're kind of organize things around. We want to, have the order make sense for what we're doing. So we're starting off first with a little pros versus pros, get us in the casting groove, get you guys started off with just a nice action-packed matchup. And that's going to be Shafir and Master Ray. You guys voted in the polls about how you think the match is going to go, and most of you said Master Ray going 2-0. There's a little bit of faith in a split, and Shafir, there's some people rooting for the underdog here. I'm excited to see how it goes. Both these players, fantastically good at what they do. Shafir, he's in the A rank. He plays in the BSL all the time. He's on the NAS B team, so, one of those great foreign kind of clans that has always been around forever. Master Ray, though, he's won CPL 3 times as a coach. He's in here, he's doing what he needs to do. He's also in A-Rank Pro House, and he also competes in the BSL. In the Hasu League, used to be in the Gosu League. But so both these players seems like it should be a reasonably close matchup, and I'm excited to get this one started. So, just waiting for my buddy to get in the lobby.
What's the lobby name? I thought you were on my friends list. This is
I'm
a
not?
good start.
Oh
no,
my god.
Not.
What do you mean? Yes. Oh man, we're starting off good. Alright, hold up.
Yeah, okay, I found your lobby. What's the password? Okay. Sorry about that. I thought we were friends, man.
We are friends. You've been on. You deleted.
I know.
If you did this, you deleted. Or wait, is this the Asian region thing?
Oh yeah, I bet that's it. Okay.
Yeah, just in case anyone doesn't know, currently there's a bug that if you click a neutral lurker egg, your thing explodes. We had some fun with that over the week casting with me and the Blime. So you switch to the Asian region, it doesn't happen, but I guess the friends list might be a little borked on it. So yeah, it's all
blame
good.
Blizzard. Always blame Blizzard. We're good.
Always blaming Blizzard. But we're going to get into that first match between these two players, Shafir and Master Ray, on Polypoid.
I'm hyped. We're starting with the best matchup.
It's a good one. All right. In the top right, in the pink Protoss, it's Shafir.
And in the top left, in the slightly off yellow Protoss, it's Master Ray.
I don't know about you. I'm just going to be furiously taking notes for this one. I feel like PvP is such a fun matchup, but a lot of chance to express some style. Feels like there's a lot of different kind of builds you could be seeing here.
Oh, yeah.
And on Polypoid, I'm always hoping it's who's the bold one going for Nexus first? It's actually okay. You could do it.
Yeah, I mean, Polypoid is just good for pretty much everything. I don't think it really rules out any builds. I have lost to Shafir in this matchup quite a bit. I can tell you that he likes 2-gate stuff. He likes the 2-gate into gas kind of build a lot. So I'm kind of interested to see if he does that here or if he tries something else.
Yeah, I think I've experienced a little bit of that in some casual games. It's one of those builds that's I play against it on a ladder, I play against it in practice. It seems so potent, but as you get higher level, I feel like the player's more comfortable dealing with it, so it doesn't seem as strong of an option. That early Zealot micro, you got to be able to get things going, and it feels like if you just want to go a little safer, 1-gate, get some tech going, that seems very reasonable.
Yeah, definitely. I know that one of the reasons that Shafir likes 2-gate stuff is like just to scout. Even if you don't really do any damage, if you just get your way up the ramp, you get so much information on what your opponent is doing, and he's really good at taking advantage of that. And here we go, look, yeah, 2 gates, I called it. Predictions.
I mean, unfortunately, Master Ray's going to roll up right in here. First scout sees it immediately, so he can make any choice he wants about how to deal with this. And with the probe in the base, you got to be careful. You don't want to get that gas stolen. You don't want any kind of weird stuff to happen. So, Shafir, I mean, he knows how to deal with this. He plays the build enough. And we see Master Ray. He's getting that gas going a little more standard. 1 gateway going to get some tech up. So, all right, a little divergence is built. Always something you want to see in this matchup. And Shafir, little tiny optimizations. He sees how fast that scout was. He immediately goes across the map. He knows that Master Ray is in the top left corner instead.
Yeah, very nice. Really important to pay attention to little timings like that. Of course, then sometimes you could just get mind gamed if the opponent was thinking of that ahead of time. But it looks like it's going to work out this time for Shafir.
Yeah, well, he manages to take that gas down. So not going to be like that older style where you just go like Zealots into Nexus and use a Forge to kind of defend things up. But definitely the more modern approach. Getting the gas, you still get a lot of gateway production. You're going to get a lot of units. So definitely has an opportunity to get some stuff done. But you see that pro from Shafir is not trying to hang on base, getting scouting info from Master Ray. So curious if you're just gonna be playing a little bit in the dark here. But with the Cybercore coming up, I don't think you do anything too crazy. Although I heard DTs can punish this 2-gate thing a little bit.
Yeah, that is what Shafir has told me. Is like, if you scout its 2-gate, you can just put down a Citadel immediately. Like, don't even hide it or be clever with it. Literally just put it down as soon as possible, and that puts a ton of pressure on the 2-gate player. Doesn't seem like that's exactly what Master Ray is going for. We do have these 3 Zealots from Shafir showing up. I imagine this probe is going to join them for a little bit of extra DPS, or maybe he's just going to keep it around for scouting later. So we're going to have like a very narrow window of time here, where there's 3 units for Shafir. But the goon does pop, and a probe comes.
Yeah, I think this is smart. Bring that extra probe just to make sure you get a little extra, because the probe can attack through the Zealots like that. But the Dragoon should be enough to like all these things to get bruised. Nothing ends up getting killed though. And we'll see like where we're going from here. We're starting to get gateway Dragoon production from Shafir. Hasn't started at Dragoon range yet, unfortunately. Will be a bit of a disadvantage there, but you know, the gas and everything got a little slowed down. Just can't afford that just yet.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. Like, he's not going to get attacked by like 3 gateways worth of Dragoons or anything in that time. So like the fact that his range is late, I don't think is really going to hurt him.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about this. You go with those early Zealots, you could see nothing really got done. Like, there was a calm reaction from Master Ray managing to defend it. And now he's got that robotics facility up. Feels like, as far as tech goes, has a pretty decent advantage. Shafir managed to eke out an extra probe or 2 during the meantime, but I feel like if you manage to hold off like this aggression, don't take anything, and you get your first Reaver up, there's a big opportunity to put some real damage on.
Yeah, I think it's not that big of a lead for Master Ray. Like, I think Shafir is completely comfortable in this position. Like, if it was DTs or something, that tech advantage would be more significant. But like, if you can get a bigger goon count, you can deal with a shuttle and Reaver, right? Like, maybe it's still advantage to the robo player, but with good micro and like good map positioning and things like that, Shafir can definitely play around that.
Yeah,
I don't even think we're going to be super aggressive on the Master Race side. Like, he's getting a Nexus, he's getting an Observatory, not a support bay. Well, right as I say that, he builds one, of course. But I don't think that he's planning to be aggressive here at all.
Yeah, I don't think so. That probe did get in from Master Ray, saw the lack of a Nexus, but saw a lot of units, and Shafir, definitely, this army is a little bit intimidating here. You want to be careful to not be in too bad of a spot. With that support bait just finished, though, should be able to get a Reaver up in time, but Shafir's going to move across the map, see if he can get something done before that Reaver is able to help defend. And there's that Reaver in production. That Nexus nearing completion, won't be able to cancel that after a certain point. But, I don't know, Defender's advantage. We'll see if Shafir can actually break through.
Yeah, we'll see here. It looks like a 2 goon lead for Shafir, and that's not a tiny amount. Like, that is a very significant advantage at this point of the game, and like Master Ray isn't quite set up exactly to stop it. I think this Nexus is going to get killed.
Oh, do you cancel it here? Yeah, I guess you have to let it up, right? Shafir's got the lower ground advantage. Could be hard to move down the ramp here, but that Reaver is about to pop out here. As good of an engagement as you're going to get from Master Ray, and still, killing this next is going to take a bit of time. There aren't reinforcements from Shafir rushing across, so with that Reaver just popping out, the Robo was a bit far away, so it's going to be a little adjoining of a fight, but Shafir does back off, doesn't try to hold it too hard, can't kill the Nexus, and still putting units behind this. We'll see if that's going to be an attempt to get a Nexus behind and just eat the loss.
Yeah, it seems like that is what's going to happen, and that is actually pretty good for Master Ray. And Shafir is just getting straight into an observatory himself. I guess he didn't see any robo units while he was in the base of Master Ray, so he kind of has to be safe. But I feel like if he did see the Reaver, he would know that he didn't have to worry about DTs, right?
Well, I think even still, like, you're not feeling any kind of real pressure as Shafir, because you didn't see the goon count like skyrocket, like there's extra gateways. You didn't hear DT swipes at you, so you have to assume it's Robo, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been burned on that though before.
We all have. Now,
Yeah.
I will say, behind all this, while the reinforcements didn't like try to keep that attack really pushed forward, there are more games going down for Shafir, and he does actually have the probe lead. He was really good about the worker production during all this. I think Master Ray cutting a couple corners just to make sure you can get the Robo, to get the Reaver, get that Nexus up as fast as he could. So he'll catch up eventually, but it's not like Shafir's economy is really looking that bad, especially as this Nexus is about to finish, and he still has that worker lead.
Yeah, Shafir constantly roasts me on my pro production. So it's too bad for me that he's ahead, or I'd be able to roast him back.
Oh no. Ooh, that observer gets caught in the middle of the map. Should get taken
Nice
down.
catch.
Yeah. That's fantastic. But you know what kind of army is moving forward here. Pretty good concave from Master Ray if he wants to be defensive. But without the extra observer, you can see Shafir sees what he's dealing with. I don't think this army's going to be enough to go through. That Reaver in the back just going to add so much extra muscle, plus the defender advantage. All these
these four goons were up on the high ground. I think they're trying to set up a flank, but Shafir checks that first, and now they're cut off. They have to run away from their own base here. Really nice movement from Shafir.
Yeah, that's a pretty good catch, but you can see now Shafir trying to think, does he want to go for the attack or not? This is just buying time for that shuttle to finish, more goons to get produced, so while these get caught out, it's a nice little victory. It's not like Master Ray's really sweating this too much. He's buying the time he needs to get those much more power units. But Shafir, 4 gateway production, really sending some units across the map. So we'll see if the Master Ray is going to have enough to hold this if Shafir wants to attack. But I feel like you could just be comfortable making units back at home, knowing you've done some damage. And that worker count lead, Jesus, it's getting out of control, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it's just Master Ray is just kind of slacking on the pro production. You can see that both of his Nexuses are idle right now. I don't know if it's a strategic choice, like he's going to go all in with something, or if he's just forgetting. But right now, it looks like while Shafir's army is chasing down those 4 goons in the bottom of half the map, Master Ray looking to be just a bit more aggressive, taking a position outside of his natural with the shuttle and 2 Reavers and some supporting goons. I thought he was going to go like all the way in, but looks like he doesn't want to prompt some kind of base trade here. And Shafir's just going back to the bottom left. Like he's really into this flank.
Well, I think if you saw, you have that observer from Shafir. He knows where the army is. So he's in that great position. If he moves out, and Shafir knows, that you could just go for a big counterattack and force your opponent to a very weird position. It's a lot of units, though, from Master Ray. 2 Reavers and a shuttle. So helpful here. But Shafir's going to attack from the bottom with a high ground advantage. Great concave from Master Ray, though. Drops the Reavers in the background. We'll see if there's enough units to go through this. Shafir has everything tied together.
Really scary from Shafir trying to snipe the Reavers, taking so many hits in the process. I don't know if that's worth it.
I don't think it was, man. He tried to engage into that, tried to go forward, but I've lost so many units trying to say, no, I can get the shuttle, I'm so close, and you just know you really have to struggle to do it. So that lost a lot of units here, and Master Ray is going to move right across the map. We do see Zealot legs on the way from Shafir, but that's an upgrade that's not going to be done for quite a while. Still has those Reavers, or at least one of the Reavers. One of them does end up getting killed off before. And a lot of Dragoons here. Master Ray in a pretty good position, but we'll see if Shafir can manage to get that similar kind of defensive concave.
See here, it looks like Master Ray is doing a great job keeping this Reaver active. He was being vulnerable, right? I say that the shuttle died. But the Reaver is still on the ground, fortunately.
That's a lot
but
of units,
I think there's just way too many goons here from Master Ray after these trades we've seen from Shafir.
Yeah, this is a bit crazy to see how much damage gets done. That one Reaver adding so much muscle. Shafir cannot hold on. Master Ray is going to take game 1.
There we go.
Man, I love watching how people engage PvP on Polypoint like that. All that little high ground variation, the like work in the terrain. You saw Shafir really trying to move around and like get a lot of like good positioning. Like maybe I can get a good attack angle, but Master Ray just showing that Reavers are still really good.
Yeah, I mean that's basically how my PvPs go. Like I feel confident, and I take a bad fight, and I just immediately lose the entire game. It's great.
Alright, so we'll get started with that game number 2. All the game number 1s will be on Polypoid, and then the game number 2, a map that maybe you guys haven't seen in a little while, Polaris Rhapsody. Oh man, this is the fun one. I'm down to watch some games on this today. All right, in the top left, in the gray Protoss, it's Shafir.
And in the bottom right, the teal Protoss Master Ray.
Yep. All right. So, Polaris Rhapsody, it's been a while since I've really seen it. And I feel like mentally I'm going to keep thinking, oh, it's Overwatch. And then like we're just like, oh, I'm waiting for bridges. I'm waiting for like the way the base layout is. So I know there's a lot of paths you can move on this map. I feel like if you want to be aggressive, this map, you could probably do what Shavir's trying to do, where you're like, I'm going to outmaneuver him a little bit. I'm going to get myself in a good spot. But it's not the 4-player map. It's not as big as Polypoid. I wonder if these players are going to feel as confident to get that early Nexus like we saw from Master Ray in Game 1.
Yeah, I think the same thing every time I see this map. I think it looks like Overwatch, even though I'm pretty sure this map is like 10 years older than Overwatch. So that's probably the...
it's significant. Yeah, it's significant.
Yeah,
This is a Kespa map.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't think that game was really decided by the builds. At least, like, the opening builds. I think just, like, Master Ray had, like, a better positioning just by being defensive. Like, Shafir kept trying to be aggressive. And Master Ray just took advantage of his defensive position. I don't really think it was, like, down to, like, what buildings they built or anything like that.
Yeah, it's actually a shame, though, because, I mean, we had the omniscient vision. We could see everything. Shafir's economy looked real good. And he was the first one getting Zealot legs. He was moving up towards the Templar tech. I think if you weren't so aggressive, didn't take that bad fight, you just kind of played defensive, you would have been in a great spot as Shafir. But definitely capable of putting himself in a position to win. Just this matchup happens that time. Sometimes one bad fight and that's it. The game's over.
Yeah, and like that, I guess that to completely counteract my earlier point, that is kind of a consequence of like going for this like just pure gateway style that we saw from Shafir. Like without the big money units like Templar or Reavers, you are in like kind of a very fragile position. Like you need those fights to go really well, or you'll just get out efficient. Like your opponent will just be way more efficient than you, like we saw in that game. It looks like this game Shafir is going for the more normal, just 1 gate into tech kind of build here. No 2-gate shenanigans.
I mean, I like that decision. You saw, like, that was the best of a position you're going to get with that build. It was, like, right next to each other, short distance. But, like, Master Ray scouted it. He knew how to defend against it without anything. He didn't have to, like, add an extra gate or a shield battery or anything. He just, I got Zealots on the ramp, we're good to go. Held it off beautifully. And I think Shafir, like, realizes, maybe not here. Because I think the distance should be even longer here. And there's no way it's not going to get scouted.
Yeah. For sure.
Well, we're just seeing goon ranges from both sides. There's always that chance that it's like, oh, they're going to cancel it. It's a shenanigans. But I think on this, like, you're not going to be pulling any kind of nonsense. I think it really is going to be down to that choice of, like, do you want to go for the early robo? Or are you trying to just slam a bunch of gateways to somebody? Or are you going to try to take that early Nexus? Which, like I said, that definitely worries me a little bit. I think at this map, I'm going to be much harder to achieve. So I'll be curious if either player actually feels comfortable enough for it, but I think this might be one of those classic, it's one base versus one base for a while in PvPs.
I would not be surprised. It looks like both players like almost symmetrical builds here. I think like one of them got a probe before the pylon, and then the other one got the pylon before the probe. It looks like, oh, Shafir might be setting up for this really Nexus that you're talking about. He's got this probe here waiting for minerals to build up.
I don't know how much I like this, especially this early. But I mean, Master Ray did pull back the scouting probe, so it's not like he's going to be able to see it immediately, which is kind of nice. Master Ray going with the build he went last time, just getting that fast robo. This is pretty far away from the ramp, though. So like, if you're trying to do something,
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Like, it's funny that he built his gateway and core like right on top of the ramp, and then he hides his robot back down here by his mineral line. Like, it's kind of funny to think about how much that can matter in this matchup, because like there's times where you need that observer to spawn to save your ramp from a DT, or to like you need a reaver to spawn to save your natural, and like putting it here, like that's like an extra 5 to 10 seconds
Well, I mean,
before you can defend your natural. So that's a huge cost.
I mean, for a Reaver, that's like an extra 14 minutes, and that thing is
Yeah.
slow. But you know what? I don't think we're even going to be worrying about that. 2 more gateways going behind this. This seems like 3 gate observers. Nice, stable pressure that it could deal with DTs. It has all the options. You don't have like the punch of a Reaver, but it's just enough Dragoons. And with Shafir going for this early Nexus, doesn't have a lot of units behind this. This might be just what you need as Master Ray to close this out before that Nexus really gets it in control.
Yeah, you're right. And Shafir is just getting a robo before adding any more gateways, which of course is the safe, sensible thing to do. But it is going to mean that Master Ray is going to have a very significant window of time where he has way more gateway production.
Well, there is a second gateway on the way. So you know what? If you're Shafir and you feel comfortable not maybe getting the Reaver before the Observer, like you're willing to take that chance, I think you could be in a really nice position, buy enough time for that Reaver to show up and try to hold the defend. But the Nexus does get finished. You can see Shafir probes again, cutting little bits, just try to get things a little faster, like what we saw from Master Ray in the first game. But we got a lot of gateways ready to just produce a bunch of Dragoons. Gun range finished for both sides as well, and there's that Observer on the way. So I think once that Observer moves forward, you can see where you can move as Master Ray. Maybe you'll start being more aggressive.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map, and like this bridge would be a nightmare to try to push across. But like, there's also so many other routes, and like Shafir does not have the units to cover all of them. He might be like putting up pylons or probes on these routes, but like if Master Ray takes the longer but more open route around the map, I don't see how Shafir can hold them off with fewer units.
Well, I mean, this Observer from Master Ray is gonna see where the units are. They're like, the bridge is hard to move through, but it's not like the units are like right outside it.
Yeah,
Shafir does have that probe moving around the side, so they're both trying to scout like what's gonna be the way to move forward here. But here's that group, and we're gonna see, does Master Ray feel comfortable? I think a probe just maybe caught that in vision. Well, he's going across that bridge. He's willing to take the risk, but the units are so far back from Shafir. He tries to move forward here before everything gets across the bridge. It can't quite get the concave you're looking for, but that pylon might be there to help out quite a bit for Shafir. We see Master Ray. He's got the goon count. He's moving forward. It definitely has an advantage here, and he can push back his opponent. The Reaver's on the way, but still pretty far away from being able to help here. And Shafir, he instantly concedes control of the low ground.
Yeah, really brutal. It's like, I feel like if he was watching that bridge with his units, this fight would have been completely different. But Master Ray is able to sprint across before Shafir can defend, and now he's going to take down this unnatural, I think.
Yeah, you see probe counts getting pretty decimated here. Shafir taking big damage. He's going to lose the Nexus. Doesn't even want to keep trying to go through. So Master Ray does get that win, the clean 2-0. Well played from him. Shafir, I think, maybe taking a little bit of some risks with the build order, and it just didn't pan out. Again, at this higher level, it's like these players know what to do in every situation. So just a clean play from Master Ray. But Shafir, obviously, like, it's not like he plays badly at all.
It's PvP, baby.
It's PvP. I have one more Dragoon than you. Well, I'm sorry, you lost.
Exactly. Game over.
Oh, that's pretty fantastic. But that's going to do it for the PvP section here. Again, we are doing a bunch of 2-game sets with a bunch of the coaches here. They're not quite in the order that we have on the TL Net post. We kind of got to organize where things make sense with how we want to do everything today. So next, we're moving into a TVT. And I know I just said the forbidden words, but you stay here. These are high-level players. This is going to be an exciting one. Like, you guys, like, you don't have to worry about this. This is going to be a great time. So we're going into our TVT match. This is going to be between Mars and Unko. Mars from Canada. He's part of the NAS A squad. He's been in things for Rogues Gallery, Beat Machine, and one of those. He's played some Turf Wars. He plays in BSL. He's hit a real high MMR apparently. Jesus, 2200 cap. That's ridiculous. And Unko, no slouch themselves. Another A-rank player, former part of the IRK A team. Also plays in Turf Wars. Usually race picks a little bit, though. Doesn't really want to play the TVT, so we'll see how this one actually plays out between the two. And because, again, we can just vote and all this stuff, you guys want to, like, say, who do you think is going to be doing well? You guys, in this matchup, you got that faith in Mars. He's got a big amount of the votes for the 2-0 or a 1-1 split. And again, Unco going to be a little bit the underdog. You guys were right on the first one. We'll see about the second one.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay. In the bottom right, in the purple Terran, it's Unco.
And in the red Terran in the bottom left, it's Mars.
All right, now we're gonna see if my CPL legend, my claim to fame, does it keep going through? That I would somehow attract TVTs that are not boring. Well, not boring. I gotta rephrase that. We're in a coach show match. We're not playing things down here. A very positional, strategic, slow grind kind of style. Like, I tend to bring, like, someone wants to go Wraiths, someone wants to go Battle Cruisers, mass drops, someone's trying to do Vulture aggression. I feel like a lot of players, if you're playing CPL, if you're playing the ladder, they don't want to play the proper TVT matchup. But these guys for a show match, such high-level players, they shouldn't feel uncomfortable, like, just kind of slicing the map up if they want to, working that position, not worried that they're going to be caught in a bad situation. So high-level TVT, and the Blind talks about it all the time, that is actually a good matchup, and these guys are going to show us.
Now, let's see, the Blind's reputation is on the line here, if we have fun or not.
Well, listen, with high-level players like this, how are you not going to have fun? Like, don't you remember that one ASL group? It was all TVT and Flash did a speed run on it? That was great.
Oh, yeah.
I actually watched that one, the whole thing, and I was like, because I remember, I saw the bottom, like, why is this so short for an entire TVT group? And then you watch the game, it's like, oh wow, Flash is just ridiculous.
Very nice. So, you said that Unco likes to race pick. Do you know what he picks versus Terra normally? Like, does he pick Protoss?
He does pick Protoss.
Okay.
I mean, the way Terran players want to complain about Protoss, why would you pick Zerg into it? Of course you pick a Protoss.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they could just, like, pick Zerg and then, like, 6-pull every time or something.
I mean, that sounds like a surefire way to lose immediately. But yeah, I think maybe just I feel like every time I see someone that wants to play Protoss instead of Terran in this matchup, it's just that you get Arbiters, you get to practice a lot of macro, take a lot of bases, so that would make you feel comfortable that, you know, you got the good late game mechanics, you got the skill you need to, you know, maybe you want to do like that slower style, you get your upgrades, wait till you're +2, a lot of factories, like just ground-based, like a real muscle kind of style. And if Unco tends to race pick, I'm thinking it's either going to be something weird, or maybe something really standard, like just by the book, because if he doesn't practice the matchup much, what are you going to do?
It looks like they had some internet troubles in the past when they played this game, so hopefully everything works out okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be reasonably alright. Now, there's always, I know early on, there's very little optimizations about, do you stop mining gas at certain points to get your get your CC up faster, how many Marines you make early before you start scouting with your racks. There's a bunch of little tiny things that like could make a big difference. They add up, you know, it won't be like too drastic one way or the other, but we're seeing early racks, early factories from both players, and gas from Mars not being mined anymore as the scout gets driven out. And Unco's still getting a little bit, but pulling guys out, I think it's going to be the same thing, both players looking to get an early expansion up.
Yeah, this is TVT. You build 2 Marines and then never again.
I mean, unless you just build all the Marines because you don't want to play the match.
Yeah. I mean, see a BBS in game 2, that'd be sick.
I don't know, man. That stuff's always interesting, but I feel like if you're gonna do like weird stuff like that, I would rather, like, wouldn't you want to do it on this map where maybe it's a little as expected? Although, you know, maybe you can hide stuff a little better on Rhapsody, a lot of different places to build things. We are seeing Mars go for the faster CC. He gets that pretty big jump on that. Unco going for a quick Vulture, so maybe a chance to put on a little bit of aggression while it's just Marines to help defend things. Because we don't see from Mars, we don't see like a bunker or anything, any kind of building that would really help out here. So there's an opportunity to do some damage here, and the CC's not too far behind either.
Yeah, Mars taking kind of a risk here, just putting that machine shop on as soon as the factory finished, and he's got a tank on the way, but I think if Unco was really aggressive with that first vulture. He could at least like delay a command center, right?
Yeah, maybe something like that.
yeah.
But once that tank's out, like this is over. Like it shouldn't be too bad here, which is good for Mars. Managed to not have to build a bunker or anything like that. So I think making the choice. Like he's not going to get map control. Like he doesn't have the vulture. He's not going to be out anywhere. But these vultures not going to get too much done here. But it's not that bad of a lead. Like I said, CC from Unko was started pretty soon after. This tank does reveal itself, going to be able to deny that. And Mars building a second factory behind this. We're seeing 2 factories added on for Unko, so we'll see if there's going to be some kind of difference in play. Spider-Man for both players, though. They're such a useful unit in this matchup, just to try to get some vision, try to get some like map control the best you can. It's not like vultures can drag them, so you don't have to worry too much.
Exactly, map control is such a huge part of this matchup. That being said, it looks like we have these 2 tanks being aggressive here, and without mines, there's basically nothing that can stop them. I think a tank can kill like infinity vultures if they don't have mines.
Especially since a couple SCVs here. If you had to repair, I think you easily could. But yeah, mines are about to finish for Unko, but he has to give up so much of the map beforehand. He's not going to be able to really get them out. And
check out the natural of Unko. We have a barracks from Mars lighted to keep units from being able to lead the natural. And he has to list his own command center to get out of here. He does not feel confident in his ability to fight these tanks. We had some mines being laid, but not super close to the tanks, and they're able to get away for now. Oh, here we go. The mine hits are starting to go off.
Yeah, one tank goes down, the other one's basically on fumes, but Unko's units all get killed off. Now you can start doing damage, laying more mines here. Like it's gonna get complicated between the 2.
God.
Can't get the SCVs back in there, and the repair starts going down on the tank. So Mars takes that first aggressive step, manages to get a lot done here, and back behind this, he's building nice and calm. Got an armory on the way. Unko's gonna have to wait for siege mode to reclaim this lower ground, so this is gonna be a big advantage for Mars.
Yeah, and I love the fact that we have mines blocking the command center here. Like, how does it feel, Taryn? How does it feel? It feels bad, doesn't it?
It's the worst. Yeah. It's absolutely the worst. Because, how do you even get a unit down? It's not like you can suicide a vulture just to trigger it. Like, you have to get some kind of detection, so it's going to be real bad. Although, Mars is hanging out on all the mines. So, could be funny. And the Marine's just going to shoot the CC, just tickle it to death. We'll see.
Yeah, I like how this command center is not just flying away. Oh, wait, did the Marine die? No, it just stopped shooting. What's going on? I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, Unko is trying to get down the ramp, doing a really good job. Just, stutter stepping forward with his tank to avoid blowing up mines. Siege mode is done. Looks like Mars is just going to back out.
Yeah,
actually walking into these mines from earlier.
Honestly, this is fine, though, I think. Unko's got a lot of vultures, so, maybe you get some return damage, but the amount of damage done here, you slowed down the mining from that expansion for so long. You killed a good amount of workers. Look at this, Mars has a big lead now. And, you still have to clear out these mines. It's not like you can be like, oh, I got the natural back. You still have to actually clear these out.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to clear it with his tank, but this tank is one tiny whiff of a spider mine away from dying here.
I think got the job done nice, having all those vultures there to help out. Did a good
There's
job.
still a mine in the mineral line. This could, in 20 minutes, that could be huge.
Yeah, these kind of things could be really brutal here. Now, we'll see where things are going. Unko feeling forced to have to do something else here. Working on a starport, so that could be an opportunity, maybe get some drops. That's an opportunity to get these vultures in the game, get something done. But Mars, he's been building up. He's not adding on a lot of factories just yet, but that armory's been rolling with the upgrades for quite a while now. Or actually, he built the armory. Has he even made upgrades? Yeah, he hasn't even started them. That's unfortunate. But he got another CC going, so Mars really just going to be in such a good economic spot here. Unko's going to have to do something to get back in this.
Yeah, Mars taking great advantage of denying the natural for so long. Feels like we have a big group of vultures trying to scoot around the map here, but it is scouted out at the very least. Mars does have 2 siege tanks at the 3rd that he's building. So not impossible to clear that out with some vultures, but it's not completely undefended either.
Yeah, I like what we're seeing from Mars, though. He's adding out a lot of techs. He's trying to choose his spots where he can slow things down. So Unko, if you can find an opportunity to get through, there goes those siege shots. Hey, he's going to be able to slow down the CC. That's a big deal. Manages to get in here. Does he have Spider-Mon's delay on these tanks? Yes, he does. And, oh my god, it barely survives. But a lot of vultures lost from Unko. It's a nice move. It got something done, but that's a lot of losses. I'm not sure how much that was worth it.
Yeah, especially when Unko is already behind on the economy. Like, I think you need better trades than that to like effectively get back in the game, right? Especially because like the command center, the SCV was killed, but you can just bring another one and finish it up. We don't have any kind of third, oh, never mind. There is a third command center for Unko. It's just still floating over his base.
Yeah, he just can't get in the mix yet. Unko looking like they're start adding on race behind this. The starport finished a while ago, but hasn't really made use of it. So making a choice of some kind of different tech, adding on factories behind this as well. But I mean, realistically, it just seems like Mars has done everything a little bit faster, a little bit better, and you can see this little marginal lead really growing out of control. 12 workers up, got the third base established before Unko did. And even like tech-wise, it's not looking that bad either, because I believe we're starting to work on the armory upgrades finally. Has a starport finished as well, so Unko doesn't have like an advantage like, this is my strength, this is what I have to do. He's going to just find some way to get something done here and get this back to even.
Yeah, I think if there is one advantage for Unko in this game, it's his a vulture count. Like, Mars has gone 3 out of 4 factories with a machine shop, like 3 to 5 now. Whereas we only have 1 machine shop for Unko, so there's way more vultures and therefore way more mines on the map for Unko. But Mars is just like a much stronger core army with his big lead in the tank count.
Yeah. Another thing to think about, though, Unko got that third base established finally. I mean, the barracks sees it, but he got it established, but it's at a mineral only. He doesn't get that extra gas income, which is so critical in this matchup as well. So even like the base choice, it's looking a little bit better here for Mars, but I do see a dropship on the way. Maybe that could be the move. Unko can get back in there. But we'll end up seeing here. He's got a lot of vultures up north. Mars is going to move up here, try to deflect this. Doesn't want to take a lot of damage up at that third base. But Unko wisely not taking a fight he shouldn't be. Not going to be throwing away these units.
Yeah, and like this drop play is like what Unko needs to make a big swing in the game. But we already see Cloaked Wraiths on the way for Mars. Seems like he's aware of this potential weakness, and if these Wraiths are patrolling the area between the 2 players' bases, those dropships are going to get cut down really fast.
Yeah, definitely could be worse. The barracks for Mars finally going to go down, but he's got plenty of factories. He doesn't have to worry. He even got a 6th one on the way. Started to work on that vulture production. And look at this move out. Mars in a good position. Has a lot of tanks just moving down the south side. Unko doesn't have many units or mines to help slow us down. Trying to force the engagement here, but look at the tank difference. And I don't think you could take this, even especially since Mars has the +1 finish. Unko's still on 0-0.
Yeah, this is a really scary army. Just bearing down on Unko here. There's so many tanks, just like you said. Yeah, there's just no way that Unko can engage it unless he has 1 paper airplane over here. They're just slowly gonna plink down these tanks. We have their armory done. I don't think we've seen a single Goliath. There we go. We have 2 Wraiths for Mars headed over, trying to defend these tanks. But for now, they actually are stopped by this 1 unit.
Well, the Wraiths do show up, so that's going to be enough. Like paper planes. They kill paper planes quite quickly. But Mars, like, he sees the position he's in. Unko can't really get in a good position. He's going to manage to take another base at the top left, so Mars really going to have that great economy here. And Unko just struggling to find an opportunity. Like, how am I going to stop this? What am I going to do? And here's going to be the move. 2 dropships across the bottom side filled with vultures as he moves a whole group over to the third. He's hoping to find some window where Mars isn't fully defended. Here comes the attack at the 9 o'clock. 2 siege tanks are here. The vultures doing what they can, but not rushing in to lay mines. We'll see. There's going to be reinforcements, but here's the drop in the main as well. This is about as good a move from Unko as you can get, as long as he drops soon and tries to get some damage done. As that attack at the 9 o'clock gets cleaned up, and the drop still hasn't happened. No.
There's a Wraith now. Oh no. Oh, and it's only vultures in the dropship, so that they could kill a lot of workers, but they're also not going to be able to like permanently siege up in the base, I think.
Yeah, this is so bad, losing 2 dropships like this. The vultures get in. There's some SCVs to be killed, but I don't know if this is really going to do the damage Unko really needed it to. You can see that supply lead for Mars kind of get out of control as he builds up all these like units he's looking for. Nice little Wraith squad, plenty of tanks. Unko going to try to take that 3 o'clock base and get back in this mix, but I mean, if you're Mars, like, you just like killed a bunch of stuff. You just killed investment in dropships. If you want to be aggressive here, It's going to be hard for Unko to actually stop you. We see the units that are available. I don't think Unko could stop him if Mars just wanted to put his throat down. Like, just bow, stamp him into the ground.
Yeah, I think you're right. The thing is, Unko is mining from his fourth base much earlier than Mars is. So if this situation stays for too long, maybe he'll get ahead in the money. But Mars is already trying to force the issue, extending his containing siege line across the map. I don't know if Unko has the time to get money from that base before he'll be in trouble here.
Now, Unko trying to find a little angle where he can get in there, try to do something with these vultures, but can't find a nice path for it. And there's a couple raids here. They're going to start working on these tanks as well. So Unko, again, just losing a little bit more. There's a couple Goliaths here, so they should be able to repel this. But does that tank actually go down? Barely ends up going down. A couple vultures do sneak through. Maybe they can punish this base in the top left. So that'd be a nice little victory, at least the best as you're going to get here. But this army from Mars, you can see, it's starting near max here. It's all big, beefy units as well. This could be really difficult. And I like this change from Mars. He's adding on a bunch of starports now. You're going to prepare for a tech switch if he finds an opportunity to really get it done.
Yeah, these two vultures do scout the fourth. There are enough vultures here from Mars to stop Unko from completely shutting it down, but still no SCVs by minerals here.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's the gas that you're really looking for at this point.
Right.
You got plenty of mineral income, I think, as Mars, so you're not really
Yeah, I mean,
sweating.
vultures are free, so you don't really need to worry about that, right?
Yeah, they're basically free. Ooh, look at this giant drop. 4 dropships moving across that bottom side. This could be an opportunity. Has a decent amount of tanks in here, too, so, like, actually might be able to get some damage done. And immediately turns around. I don't know what he saw that he doesn't want to deal with, but he's not risking losing
a Wraith or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a nice little hit squad of Wraiths trying to move through here. So, like, that could easily do some damage to these dropships, especially since there's no Goliaths. Mars does manage to get a couple vultures to the 3 o'clock base. There's no opening on the north side of that, so you can't defend this, and Unko's going to take some harassment damage as well. As you can see, this race moving forward as well. They find the dropships. There's no anti-air here. Oh, this is brutal. You cannot lose all these units right now.
So much value in these dropships right now.
Oh, you can just lose the race. The amount of damage that's being done here, you don't even care. This is fantastic. Meanwhile, those vultures were still over at that 3 o'clock, stopped all the production, the workers, like, mining anything. Does end up losing the race, does so much damage though. Mars about to hit max, and he's got that line. He can keep encroaching in here. Unko is in such a rough spot. It's going to be hard to get back on the map, and those drops just aren't seeming like the way. This tank count from Mars is out of control. It's working towards +2. It's gonna be a while away though.
Yeah, and like I like that the science facility of Mars made it all the way to the natural of Unko. Like, I know that you don't need the building to be landed and like you can scout with it, but it's also a lot of gas and it blocks your upgrades. So I don't know if you really want to fly it into the enemy base.
I mean, if you forced Unko to start anti-airing your science facility or investing in race, I think that should be really good right now. Like, you're just making waste units that he doesn't really want. Now, Mars is actually about to hit max here, so he's going to be able to start banking up money behind this. He's got control of that top right base. Move out from Unko. He's going to try to get something done. But a couple tanks over there immediately get killed off. These cloaked wraiths doing so much damage here. There's a lot of vultures. Mars's army is huge from the top side. So many tanks here. And Unko, like, all the muscle is getting cleared out very quickly. And everything's being pulled out of position. So if you want to counterattack as Mars, you even have the choice to do that as well. I don't like that move out. Unko just lost a lot of units, and Mars barely lost anything in comparison. The tanks move forward here, and Unko, this might be the step too far. I don't know how you defend this.
Yeah, I mean, Mars just has too much stuff. Even if that attack did like temporarily open up a hole in the contain, Mars just brought more hordes of tanks down to cover it. And now the third base is going to go down. I'm pretty sure the SCVs are trying to leave. Actually, they're trying to fight. Trying to unrepair these tanks of Mars, but this is too much.
Yeah, I mean, you try to defend the best you can, but Mars just from start to end playing a very clean game, and I can't say it's entirely unexpected if we know that Unko likes to do the race spec, maybe less comfortable in the matchup, or maybe just doesn't like when that kind of stuff happens. So game 2, different kind of map, hoping to see a different style of play, you know, where maybe Unko, maybe like something really aggressive early on, maybe a commitment to a tech choice early instead of playing kind of similar styles and just kind of getting outdone.
So, with the race picker thing, what do we do if we have two, like, if we have two Terrans who prefer to play PvT, what do we do if they play each other?
Man, you can't ask me these questions live. Snipes in the chat. He can answer.
So I like, probably the real answer is, like, they flip a coin, or, like, they just decide. I think we should force them to play PvP. I think that would be fair.
I think you make him play ZVZ. Just total.
There you go.
Total nonsense. That'd be a fun time. But let's get into game 2. Also going to be a fun time on Polaris Rhapsody. So in the top left, in the blue Terran, it's Mars, after looking so good in game 1.
And in the bottom right, on the opposite end of the color wheel and the map, it's Unco in the orange Terran.
Yeah. Well, so we'll see, man. I'm hoping to see something, and that SCV moving out so fast, I think we're going to see something.
I called it. Hell yeah. This is what I want to see, dude.
Now, here's the question. How easy is it to actually end the game with something like this in a TVT? I know, like, you could be, like, I think you could do, like, a forward racks, like, just build some Marines to put pressure on, but it's not dedicated, I'm going to kill them. But I wonder, is there a world where this does actually get the kill, where you do things? Or how easy is it to defend here as Mars? I mean, SCVs, they got 60 health, they're pretty strong. I'm not really sure what we're looking at.
I feel like there's a good chance that the defending SCVs could just kill the Marines up by themselves. I think we're only going to see one barracks here, right? Because we only have one SCV, but it's so close. Wow.
So, okay, so we got this barracks in the base. I think if, like, in the mineral line, if you can get a bunker set up by that mineral line, that could be insane. Or, like, maybe you just...
bunker.
Well, I mean, hey, if you have a bunker shooting your initial mineral line, like, how do you deal with that? It's going to be so hard to actually get the damage you need. But there isn't more SCVs here for the repair or anything. I wonder if this is going to be just the one Rax production.
Look where Mars is building his barracks. It's so far. It's as far away as it could be and still be in his main base. Like, why would you ever build it over here? I don't understand. It's not even, like, closer to Unco's base by air or anything. It's just in a corner. I don't understand why.
I wonder, like, if your plan would be to not make Marines, fly it to the right, like, for an easy spot on a proxy location. But if you're flying your barracks, then you don't have units to defend with.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this barracks, but it's pretty much the worst place that it could be to defend any kind of nonsense. This bunker, though, from Unco is so far away. I can only imagine that this bunker is meant to help leapfrog.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this gives you the window that you could leapfrog forward. You have something safe to retreat to. So now you can start pushing forward, and you can see it's gonna just slowly move in. Here comes that scout from Mars. He's about to see what's happening.
Mars found it, holds a bunch of SCVs, but the Marine gets in the bunker.
Oh, the SCV's trying to dance around. If he loses the SCV, that's going to be so bad here. That bunker takes some decent damage. Some SCVs go down, though, and we can see the immediate reaction. Mars going to make his own bunker to try to slow this down. You can see the one from Unco slightly further ahead. Oh, the SCV is going to get on the building one. You can't afford to lose it. Reinforcements do go through. So we'll see if this is enough, but this Marine count from Unco is growing pretty hard. The bunker cannot finish. Mars does finish their own. And so I'm not sure if you can keep going from here. DPS is good. Yeah. They're gonna shoot each other. This is fun.
I know. Yeah, this works out. Bunker versus bunker. I'm not sure I've ever seen this. So we have way more DPS in the Unco bunker, but we have more repair going on. I really have no idea. This Marine came out of the bunker and took hits. I don't know if that's good or not. Maybe it's part of the strat. Maybe it's not. But I think we just have more repair on this side of Mars, right?
I mean, you can see he's not even bringing more SCVs. He doesn't feel pressured about it. You see, they're just shooting each other forever. No real progress being made, unfortunately. Wow. Ooh, Unco's gonna maybe unload here. Try to go behind the middle line, get some damage. That's a move that you can try to do here, because that bunker, that's pretty fortified. Things get unloaded here.
The Marines of Mars get caught outside the bunker. Oh, I can't believe that happened. There's nothing in the bunker for Mars right now.
Oh, I can't. That move out, that's so costly here. Marines have to keep getting made. But you can see, the bunker isn't going down. It's taking some decent damage. These SCVs from Unco moving forward, doing absolutely everything they can, shooting from behind the mirror line, too. So the SCVs, they're just getting pulled to retreat. They just don't want to be taking all these losses. Ooh, if they box these Marines in this background, this could be so bad. Oh, no, losing 2 Marines here.
Nice drill in the back that cleans out those Marines, but there's still 4-1 in the bunkers.
Ooh, the bunker's about to go down. It didn't have enough repair.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
let's go, Unko. All right, Unko
There
gonna
you go.
take that one quick. We're going for a 1-1 between the two, showing the strength of Cheese. Even in a show match, always got to worry about it.
That's peak TBT right there.
Hey, that was a fun time. I'm down for that. All right, so we're a little bit into the stream. Everyone that's just hanging out with us, thank you for tuning in. This is something we do every season. This coach show match, show off some of the coaches. You know, you get to root for a guy that's like, oh, I hope I'm on their team. You know, just have a good time. Get to learn a little bit about the play styles, and maybe find a guy's like, I want to be like that guy. And you can, you know, be looking forward to CPL 7 like that. If you're having a good time here, there is a subscribe button. There is a Ko-fi link. You can, you know, help out for us for what we do. We got plenty of people behind the scenes that put in a lot of work to make this work. And you can hear more about everything happening this season tomorrow. That's going to be on Sunday at noon Eastern Time. So it's going to start a little earlier than what we did today. And that's the team reveal stream. You're going to join. It's going to be me and Snipe and Stromcolin and Age, as always, hosting us up. We're going to talk about the season, maybe your teams, maybe your coaches, maybe the map pool. I don't know, a whole bunch of stuff. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be awesome.
Definitely.
Okay, so we got another match. We got a bunch of matches, so don't worry. We're going to have a good time. Now we're moving into a ZVP. It's going to be Agio versus Raz. Agio, a Canadian player. He's going to be A rank. He's played in the NSL, got into the top 8 for that, plays in Nation Wars, and pretty good 2v2 apparently, so, you know, that could be someone you should have an interest in if you want to explore the mythical 2v2 ladder. That will never happen, I promise you. And it's also Raz from USA, an A or S rank Protoss player, so very high up there, plays in some of these turf war events that get run, and in the BSL Gosu League, so these players, you know, involved in the scene, high-level players. I mean, everyone here. Like, I feel like we say it a lot. They're high-level players involved in the scene. Like, these guys are involved. That's why they're helping out with CPL in the first place. They just want to grow Brood War, and they're trying to help us out. Volunteer some time, make sure you get to learn, make sure they get to be involved with things. But this should be fun, ZVP. Show me the tips. How do I stop losing in this matchup?
We gotta download this information here.
Yep. So we'll get into that, and again, we always got these polls, we got these votes. How do you guys think this one's going to go between Agio and Raz? Evenly split, kind of among everything. Some of you believe in the 2-0, some of you believe in the 1-1, but there's no particular favorite here. So we're kind of getting into some of these matches that maybe not as clear cut what's going on. Apparently, my game doesn't want to create. So you know what? Okay, I see.
Change the lobby name, like add a 1 at the end or something.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the move.
Small indie company.
Yep, I did add a 1 at the end. It is a small indie company. There's like one guy working on it.
Yeah. Is it up?
It's up right now, yes.
Okay. I was like, uh-oh. Alright, right.
It's like we're starting the season off. There's going to be technical difficulties. Thankfully, nothing yet today. Fingers crossed. Knock on your desk. Like, don't let me jinx it, people. All right, going into our third set today. In the top right, in that magenta Zerg, it's Drone Dance. That is Agio.
All right, and in the bottom right, lying about his color, in the green Protoss, it's Red Rest.
Man, I can't believe it's a show match where you're like let's learn about the coaches, let's do the stuff, and they're using aliases, they're using meme names. Come on, people.
Right. So what? So I guess I don't know enough about Raz. Do you think he'll go for Gateway Expand or Forge Expand?
I honestly, I'm not that familiar with Raz as a player either, but I feel like when you see these high-level players, it's always Gateway Expand. It gives you more agency to get something done, opportunities to do damage. You can micros out. You can't micro cannons. Well, I mean a little bit. You can micro them a little bit, but they can't put pressure on. They can't scout for you. They can't force reactions from your opponent. Where Forge, you know, I think at this level, maybe a little more clear-cut, a little more figured out, where you could be like, oh, I can just slam down some hydras, we can go in, or this wall's bad, let's send things forward. And we are seeing a 9 pool, not over pool. So that's always fun to see a little more aggression from our Zerg player here. And again, an early gas as well. On a 4-player map, this seems bold, But with this gateway coming forward, like I was saying, maybe this is the kind of trick you need. If you could punish those first couple zealots, things can go real haywire for the Pros player very quickly.
Yeah, it was one of those things like with Forge Expand, assuming that you scout the 9 pool, you just get 2 cannons, right? But like with the Gateway Expand, like you have to keep making zealots, you have to like stop them from getting up the ramp, you have to do lots of precise micro, so it's way harder to stop it. It's just way more demanding on the Protoss player, and that's even that's if they even scout it, right? Like if they scout last, and we see no scouting at all, which is kind of a thing that's become more popular for Protoss to do lately. But it seems like the Zerg player is aware of that and is going to punish it.
Yeah, I hate this. I hate no scouting like this on a 4-player map as well.
Yeah, it's
terrifying. It's not about the 9 pool part of it, but if your opponent just gets away with hatchery first and you don't mess with them at all, that's also bad. So it's like you're taking such a gamble here. And unfortunately, Agio, the Overlord goes to the side. It doesn't see anything. And the Zergling's going to move across. Not going to commit fully to a choice, splitting them up. So he's going to get in there. That first Zealot is out. Where'd it go?
It's just right by the gateway. So Raz
it's like invisible.
Like a very defensive macro opening here, getting the Nexus after 1 Zealot, which is pretty greedy. Like I think you normally only do that like if the Zerg went like hatchery first, which is the exact opposite of what we had here.
Yeah, more legs coming on over. This reaction from Raz, realizing the threat this could be, pulls a lot of probes to help try and defend this. The second Zealot pops out, can get surrounded here. These lanes trying to choose what they're doing damage to. A lot of probe kills could be going through. If you can get those in the main, this could be a nightmare. And oh man, 5 Zerglings get into the main here. This is so bad right now for Raz. He's got to like micro his heart out to survive this. And behind this, you just see Agio, he's taking a hatchery. He's not going crazy. He's not just slamming lanes forward, although he easily could.
Yeah, it's just such a rough position for Protoss. Like, speedlings in your main, you don't even have a forge to make a cannon in your main mineral line. Like, this is so rough. And we have 6 more links coming across the map. Like, what do you even do here? It's so miserable. Just trying to get his gas. Like, Raz is, like, committed to not changing his build order, right? Like, it's just like, whatever happens, I'm just gonna do this like really greedy opening here.
I mean, at this point, I think you have to try to like hope you can mic your way out. You can survive through here. But look at all these links. They go down. They're going to catch out these zealots on the ramp here. And enough of these links to survive after this. But you can see that zealot count starting to grow up here. Needs to be careful.
And Agio like left the main. Like I feel like having links in the main is like the best part. Is like the best possible outcome you can get. And now he's allowed Raz to wall off the ramp with these 2 zealots here. Like this suddenly looks way better for the Protoss player, right?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look as tragic as it was. I think you could have microed that stuff forever and just caused havoc on your opponent to kind of throw them off here. And you can just see Raz, like he's committed to a build. He's in a reasonable spot here. Cybercore on the way, should be able to get the tech they're looking for. At least it did stop a lot of mining at this Nexus. It hasn't been doing anything this entire time. So still damage, I feel like, has been done. Finally, a Forge going to be here as these lanes slowly get cleaned up. But behind this, it's not like lost track of what they want to do. There's a hatchery up at the 12 o'clock. They got that base at the natural and starting to add on some drones back into it now. So I feel like this could have done more damage, but I'd definitely say Agio is feeling pretty comfortable right now.
Yeah, dude, I'm still just in shock. Like, I can't believe that, like, the strategy when Zerg gets in your main is just to wait and they'll leave. Like, I didn't think about that. You know, I never thought about, like, politely asking them to leave, but apparently it seems to work. And now, like, it's not a completely normal game, but it looks much more normal, right? Like, the Zerg has their 3 bases, a Protoss is got their tech, and, like, I can't believe, like, we had such a fast core after the gateway first. We have this Stargate coming along the way. Lair is not even started. We have a 4th hatchery. I wonder if we're going to see, like, 4-hatch Hydra, or just, like, we're going to really lean into the Lings here. I have no idea what is the follow-up here, or
well, I'd say I'd say you'd be leaning into either legs or drones here, because you can see Agio, he stopped mining gas. So like there's more hatcheries on the way. This is going to build up a lot of larva production. The 5th hatchery up at the 12 o'clock as well. So if you wanted to go with the hydras from here after you like get these rolling, I think you could. If you want to just use Lings to kind of map control, because you can see Raz, he's pretty holed up back at home. After all that pressure from before, he doesn't feel comfortable. But this first Corsair is about to come out, scout around what's going on, and see, like, Oh, you have no anti-air. None at all.
These Corsairs are. We might only have one just for scouting, but like this Corsair is gonna absolutely have free reign over this guy. Like a Hydra Den or Spire, even an Evo is not started yet. We're gonna have like 3 or 4 Overlords go down before anything can be done about it, and that's absolutely huge. It screws up the Zerg's production so hard.
Yeah, this is a nice opportunity for Raz to get some damage done. The Hydra Den does go down right in sight of the Corsair as well, and an Evo Chamber behind it. So I think we're going to see not the fastest attempt to go to Lair. You see a lot of drones being added on, so I think Agio just trying to set up like a nice baseline of economy here. But Raz, because he didn't get thrown off the build too much, you see the +1 weapons on the way, started Zealot legs as well. So I think once all of that's completed, and you have that at least potent Zealots move out on the map, this choice to slow everything down here from Agio, there might be an opportunity that these Zealots just tear everything up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this tech lead for the Protoss is going to be absolutely brutal. I saw this creep colony here, and I thought it was going to be a spore, but it's a suck. So all we have is like a handful of Hydras to defend all these Overlords. And this third base is basically undefended. Like there's a start of Sim City here, but there's also a huge gap here between the hatchery and the Evo. It's exactly what the Zealots want to see here.
Yeah, I mean, still, this is not a bad situation at all. Supply block now for the Zerg, but hey, like that drone count is quite healthy. So even though like he's gonna have the money to replenish these Overlords, so I think if you kind of brace through, you survive this without too bad of a situation happening here. I think Zerg is feeling pretty comfortable. I like scouting here with the Corsairs. Make sure it's not like, oh, they got a 4th base. They're really trying to just hole up back at home. And Lair finally getting started, so should be able to get towards a Spire or get towards Lurker Tech, anything to kind of make sure when Raz moves out, you have an opportunity to reduce damage. But here's that move out now. This is so many Zealots, and they're upgraded.
Yeah, it's 12 +1 speed lots. This is a huge push. It's not even that much later than normal. Like Zerg is in trouble, I think, if a Protoss goes for the third base. We have 2 Sunkens scrambling to come up in the mineral line. It might be too late.
He's going to try the natural first. There's 2 Sunkens in decent Sim City, but there's just not a lot of units here. Raz doesn't even want to risk it, though. He's going to see. Is the third base a better choice here? And you can see, like, the Lings trying to buy it time here, but when they got that upgrade, like, I don't think you care. You fight these Lings all day long. There's a couple Hydras at the top of the ramp, but this is just not a lot of units here. And those Sunkens are not helping with the defense at the ramp either. Corsairs getting some work done as well. Raz being a little bit indecisive, but just has so many units here. Looking like he's finally going to go up the ramp. There's only a little bit of Hydras. This isn't enough to defend this at all.
Yeah, this third base is definitely in danger. The 3 Corsairs are cleaning up the Overlords in the sky. Looks like we have some reinforcements, and Raz is deciding to keep Zealots alive rather than commit to trying to wipe out the base, which honestly is probably the smart move, even if it's like not quite as cool. Just because like a Protoss really wants to keep a giant death ball of units alive, and trading can be really dangerous.
Well, honestly, I like looking at some of the things we're seeing being made. I see a shuttle. I see Storm on the way. There's a DT on the map now. So I think you keep like things alive. You're not gonna die to any kind of counterattack or anything. But the fact that he has this opportunity, he pulled the army all the way to the left. If you can find a hole in one of these bases, that shuttle might do some real big damage. But the Lair does finish, the Spire's on the way now. Scourge could be an option to help slow things down. But there's still a lot of Corsairs here. And where's the anti-air? Oh, we're going to get some more Overlord kills. These minimal Corsairs have done so much work.
Yeah, there's a total of like 6 kills on these Corsairs, I think. It's just brutal. And we had the Spire start at like 10 minutes into the game, so it's going to be a long time before we get Scourge here to shut this down.
Yeah, Lurker Tech also on the way here, but Raz didn't get thrown off at all. He's out of gateways behind this. He's got his Robo. He's going to have observers before they're really a problem at all. And you can see more Corsairs. They're just flying around. Whatever they could find would feel real good right now. And there's a shuttle. Hydra fights in the middle of the map. It has High Templars and Dark Templars, but unfortunately, this doesn't find that narrow window that doesn't get spotted out. He has to retreat off, and that's so nice from Agio to not have to deal with that for right now.
So we have a second Robo in the natural of Raz. Do you think that's a mistake? Do you think it's just like he built the first one early and he built the second one like at his normal time? Or do you think we're going to see like Master Reavers or something? Like, what else would you get two Robos?
I mean, looking around, not seeing an observatory, it feels like it might have been a mistake. which, I mean, it happens to
Yeah.
the best of us, but I would love that if it was double reverse production or something insane. That would be so cool. And look at this from Agio. He's trying to preempt that shuttle. He knows something's happening. He's just moving his Hydra in weird spots. Like, if I get lucky, I'm going to catch something. But he has plenty of time built up now. Great economy behind this, and he can really start getting this Hydra production rolling. And, ooh, transport for Overlord being researched as well. So both players going to have some opportunities to do a little bit of shenanigans. This game, it looked so good.
Bottom left. This shuttle from Raz is trying to go around, and it's going to fly past the one oh, no, barely misses the one Hydra in the bottom left corner of the map.
Just barely. Ooh, couple Scourger. If they can get a Corsair kill, so finally slow down this little nonsense. And you can see, like, Raz still adding on Corsairs at this point. Like, they're doing so much work, you might as well keep going. This shuttle is going the longest way possible. Will it manage to actually get there? But remember, that 12 o'clock base has those Sunkets in the mineral line. Dropping into it, like, it's gonna be difficult to not lose things.
It's gonna require very quick casting on that storm, but you kind of don't really care if the Templar live if they get that storm off. And now this shuttle's gonna get discovered by a drone. It's expanding in the top left.
Yeah,
it's like the
wow.
DT is gonna drop off. Might as well try to shut down that base if you've been detected.
I mean, that seems reasonable to me.
Yeah. And we do have the third trying to go up here for Raz at the gas location rather than the high ground mineral only. And gas is really what Protoss needs to get into the late get into the late game of this matchup. Okay, the storm drop is flying over the third. We have a Templar. He gets off. Standing up 2 storms, kill a bunch of drones.
Yeah, he loses the
Very
Templar
nice.
for it, but I think that's worth it. You did a lot of damage with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess still making drones behind this. So you can see the shuttle moving in. It doesn't have anything this time. It's going to get killed off, so not ideal. Yeah, he's got to keep that over there. Just try to delay things. Here comes the Scourge. Finish the job.
Very nice. But I like that drop did so much value for the Protoss. Like, shut down the 4th, kill the drones. The Protoss is up like 20 probes now. And it looks like Agio is deciding that he likes this drop idea. We have Hydras being slurped up into the Overlords and headed for the Protoss main. If this is not caught out, it can be like absolutely game-ending damage. But the Protoss army is outside of the Zerg Naturals. So we might see these drops.
Well, there's lurkers here. There's only the one observer. Needs to be careful. Ooh.
Yeah, there's only one observer.
Storm's going down, but the lurkers are pretty spread out. There's a lot of Dragoons here. This Protoss army pretty strong here, but doesn't want to keep moving forward, doesn't want to keep going through. Does have to unload the units a little bit. And you can see he's trying to move forward here. This army looking pretty good, but I don't think you feel like you need to force it. You know, like you delayed that 4th base from the Zerg. You got your own 3rd base that just finished up, has cannons to reinforce it. I think with taking this extra 4th Nexus up at the mineral base, like, Raz just needs to keep map control, keep building up, and he's going to be in a great spot. Ooh, couple lurkers. Can he catch these out?
This defensive position at Agio's natural is like it looks like a campaign map. Like, it sucks, and lurkers everywhere. We do have like 8 dropper lords here headed for the Protoss main, and that is really dangerous. There's nothing at home to deal with them. There's no Templar in the mineral line. There's not even cannons.
Oh, if Raz commits to killing this top right base, this is going to be brutal here. This drop moving in for Agio. There's 1 cannon, a couple goons. This isn't enough to slow this down. 1 round of production. You see Raz immediately pulling back most of the units. He's got a long track to go before he can go through. So many Hydras and lurkers getting unloaded here. Oh, no.
It's just awful. Oh my god, and a lurker morphing on the ramp of the Protoss' own base. Just to keep the defenders out. Like, I think the main's going down. I like, this is absolutely brutal. The main Nexus is absolutely going down. All of the tech is here. Like, all the mining is shut down. I think a good amount of probes made it out, but definitely still some losses. Yeah, the Templar Archives goes down. Okay, this is why you get 2 robos, right? So when you get dropped in this type of robo, you have it back up.
I'm going to disagree on that one. I feel like you're prepping for something that shouldn't be happening. Now, unfortunately, though, while this did a lot of damage, it got some worker kills, killed off some tech, it didn't kill the Citadel, so you can just remake the Temp Archives, and it killed the Nexus, but that's basically mined out anyway. So really, that could have been so much worse. I think if you go for some of the gateways, you kill off like the Stargate and the Forge, or as much tech as you can. I think there definitely could have been an opportunity where this would be way worse. Still has to clean up these lurkers that are in here. So, but you know, reasonably big damage. It pulled Raz back. That does defend Agio's top left base, so that gets established. And you can see Agio trying to be in a position here. Maybe you can put some pressure, because that mineral base is very undefended. Just a couple cannons.
We'll see here as the Protoss army tries to funnel its way back down the ramp of the main. I think we're going to have enough units here to defend the third base.
Yeah, even with the high ground advantage, Agio doesn't want to lose a bunch of Hydras for free. So there's been so much back and forth action, and honestly, you look at the supplies, it's kind of where you're expecting things to be. Pros with a little bit of a lead, but I don't think it's quite enough. Zerg might be in a good position, especially now that that top left base is going to be able to get established here. The Queen's Nest is done, Hive on the way. That's kind of the money unit. That's what you're looking for. Once you get those nice tech units, you get those really good Zerglings, you get those Dark Swarms in the mix, then the game gets so much harder for Protoss. So we'll see how Raz wants to keep going. If he wants to try to get another base, or if he's just going to slam down a bunch of gateways and go for the kill. Because on 3 base, this is still kind of a low amount of gateways, honestly.
So we have Raz trying to rebuild the main Nexus, but there's like maybe 600 minerals.
Yeah, I don't like that decision.
I guess there is about like 2,000 gas left, so maybe that's worth it. But
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that'd be fair.
It's just pretty funny.
Pro moving down to the bottom left, looking like they want to take another base. Here's an Overlord though. That'll scout that almost immediately. But
There
start
is
setting up.
a lurker drop at the third, but it is detected, and the probes are pulled away before we see any huge kill count here.
That's still, you're denying a lot of the mining here, like if you can get that through. But I guess the lurkers did die to the cannon. They couldn't get the kill on that, unfortunately. A big army move out from Agio down to that bottom left. He's not going to let this get established. So both players kind of running on, running a hard way where they're going to get that next base. Agio still has that mineral only, so they can take that and at least get that 5th base up and rolling. As that hive does finish up, we can start seeing what the tech choice is, and it's a Defiler mount on the way.
So Raz kind of positions his army to catch these Hydras as they run away. This is going to be a very nice catch here. No like huge units like lurkers or defilers or anything in this squad, but that's still a lot of resources kind of thrown away here.
Yeah, and it gets rid of the map control. That's what the biggest thing. All those units that were on the map here, now Raz can kind of move wherever he wants. And I love that we're seeing, just in this core army, a couple DTs mixed in, because there's just not a lot of Overlord presence. They're kind of holed up and being defensive here with all these Dragoons. So these DTs could add some real big damage. Both players are doing quite well, though, setting up the armies they want to get. The upgrades on both sides looking pretty good. Consumes on the way, as well as that Crackling upgrade, and Nidus's as well. So Agio going to be in a great spot to defend what they want to. Look at these Overlords, though. The Corsair is going to see it. Storm's going down. They're trying to stop this best they can. All these Storms doing so much damage. A couple cannons as well. But still, it's just so many Overlords. A lot of losses here. This is a big commitment from Agio. Does not get enough damage done. A couple Lurkers get dropped in the main. But, man, if you're Raz right now, you're feeling real good. I'd be attacking somewhere immediately.
Yeah, that went so much better than the first round. We do have these 2 really annoying lurkers on these gateways and tech. We do finally have, I think I saw an observer. Yes, okay, yeah. We do have an observer. But Raz did kind of
supply block too.
Pulled back like all of his control groups back into the main. Kind of didn't give himself any way to take advantage of killing all these units, and now we have what I assume are about to be cracklings on the map. They might be able to shut down this 5th base here from Protoss. Yep, here we go. Oh my god, I hate this feeling so much. Every building is canceled immediately. It's just like, nope, no way I can save that in time.
Oh, this is so good from Agio. This very minimal investment. It shuts down the base, and look, Raz brings his whole army to defend it. That's definitely more than you needed to. And that window to punish how much just got lost, because all those Overlords, a big supply block, and you are up a ton of supply from how much you just killed there. And Raz had a big chance, but you're giving your opponent a way to get back into it. Now that Consume's done working on more upgrades here, Defilers are going to be around, and this Dragoon heavy army, you do not want to see a Dark Swarm happen. That could be really tragic.
Yeah, this is starting to look more like my late game PvZs. Like, Protoss is like having such a hard time doing anything on the map. Zerg is constantly attacking, and like even though the Zerg is losing units, they're not losing any bases. They're kind of keeping the Protoss from growing. You feel it's really hard to like split your army as Protoss, because if you get like half your army picked off by Lings, it's pretty much like game over. Looks like we're starting Reaver production for Protoss, but we only have the one Robo in the naturals. You can't really defend all of your bases with that.
Well, I mean, that might even just be a move, because once you get to the late game, if the Zerg you see in the top left, they're adding on Ultralisk Cavern, you just might want the muscle. If you have to fight through Ultralisk, if you have to like siege down lurkers or anything, Reavers in general are just pretty good. Or if you need to take that extra base, Reavers to help defend up the ramp, definitely a key part of this late game defense as Protoss. But you can see a big army here from Raz, but Agio got the time he needed. You can see like that supply count got a lot closer than it was a couple minutes ago after that failed drop. And Lang's just moving all over the map. If he can catch Raz out of position one time, big damage could happen very quickly. But both players just trying to draw the battle lines. Plague on the way as well. That could be a game changer for these big fights. But neither player committing to any kind of big attack. Just trying to see if they can get their opponent in a bad position.
Yeah, so I think so that drop killed a lot of the tech, like the first drop. And now, even though Protoss is maxed out, it's almost all Zealots and Goons. We have like one Archon and we have 2 Templar walking around. But like, there's none of the big tech units that Protoss needs in order to fight the Zerg hordes efficiently, right? Like we're seeing them just get cleaned up by cracklings all over the map, kind of. And I think this is a really scary position for Protoss to be in. Like Goons are going to be completely obsolete once we see more Defilers and Darkswarm on the map, and cracklings. Yeah, like you just need Templar Archons and Reavers. We don't see them in any big numbers now.
Yeah, you can see things starting to work towards that way. There's a big attack over at that mineral base for the Protoss player, but Storm Reaver defense with a couple cannons is so good at doing this. Raz managed to clean up all these little units of Lings all over the map, and finally setting up that base in the bottom left corner. If you establish that natural, that's also establishing the main, so this is a great move if you can actually hold on to it, and you can see how many cannons are getting added on. Darkstorm doesn't really care too much about those, but you know what? If you can just get things established, things are good. Raz does max out finally, starting to build up a bank behind this as well. And you can see Agio, if he can find opportunities to do damage, he's looking for it. He's got a decent amount of Ling Lurker. Storms and Reavers at this base, this is going to be hard to break through. But I think Raz at least mitigated some of this pressure and gets to build up back at home. But where is the extra gateway? Still like, what, on 6? This late in the game? What's happening?
I mean, I guess he's maxed out either way, but we definitely need to see more production of something come up. I feel like Rez has like mentally changed gears into playing much more defensive, trying to expand all of the map, getting more splash units, keeping nice positions on these high grounds. And of course, right as I started saying that, he does move this group of units over to the top left that Zerg has kind of colonized over here. I can't imagine this push with mostly Goons is going to do great against Ling Ultra. Like,
yeah, Ling Ultra with Defiler support, it'll be rough. Lots of lanes going through here. The Archon doing big work though, as much as you possibly can here.
Max value right now.
Yeah, with these Ultras fully upgraded on their armor, as big as they can. A couple DTs mixed in, that's the kind of unit you're looking for here. And it's just a lot of stuff actually. Darksworn finally goes down, but Raz has a very potent army doing great damage as he's trying to break through, but can't actually get to the base. He's winning the fight here. Reinforcements coming through, and look at that supply. Raz is losing a bunch. He can't keep reinforcing. His gas just isn't built up enough. It doesn't have the production back at home.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my, like, I think this is one of my replays at this point. God, I just hate this late game of this matchup.
Yeah,
so
I need to watch your games more often if you're having games like this on commonly. Oh, this game's
just
ridiculous.
like Goons getting wiped out by tiny squads of Lings and stuff like that. Oh, look at this over here, like in the 9 o'clock. There's one lurker just shooting down these Goons.
If you can kill this hatchery, slow this down. At this point, you just need to make sure those middle bases don't get taken as per us. I think that's your main goal here. But look at this mini-map. Lots of lurkers on one side, Ling streaming across the other. This is starting to look like the campaign attacks where it's just there's Zerg everywhere here. And Raz has to keep his army together, have any real hope with these fights. Lurkers do burrow. Lots of Lings coming in through. There's no Defiler here at least, but there's no Zealots either. It's just Archon and Dragoons. You know, man, is this going to be enough to actually fight this off here? Both sides taking big losses here, and that I think Agio feeling pretty comfortable with that. Finds the base in the lower left, sees how defended it is, but keeps pushing forward here. These Lings are just so strong in the late game.
Yeah, Goons drop off in value so hard in the league.
Yeah, this isn't fair. We need to buff Dragoons. Give him Blink.
Exactly. yeah, we need like Splash on Goons. That'd be sick.
Oh yeah, just have him cleave. Look, Ultra's coming in through as well. There's still 2 Reavers like just buried in these little cannon field. So you do as much damage as you can. That mineral base is about to go down. The Archers come to try and clean this up, but you just keep getting streamed through. The Reavers are doing everything they can. The cannon's slowly getting wiped out here. DT doing big work in that defense as well. Barely holds on, loses half the defense, but Agio can just keep doing whatever he wants. And we've already seen him attempt to drop the main a couple times, but everything's so focused over here. Like 2 Overlords worth of Cracklings in the main, that could be devastating. That'd be so nice to see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Like, how do you fight this? Like, when it's just, oh, I have all these larvae, and Lings are basically free. They're so cheap. You just keep sending things over. Gonna try to take this base over on the side again. Probe versus drone, like, just fighting each other here. But at least he knows that base probably going to establish. Some storms going down. Templar gets caught out in the middle of the field. And it is just a rough spot here. I don't think you have enough. Red Raz is moving to the 3 o'clock. Maybe wants to set that base up, but there's just been so much action here, and how do you know how to balance your units to defend everything properly?
Yeah, it's so hard. You need so much map information to know where to put your army. And like, you have so much supply that's like just caught up in these Reavers and Archons trying to defend bases that like your actual army gets that much weaker. We have, I think Protoss is going to hold this bottom left. Well, not if these Reavers like leave the safety of the cannons. Maybe not.
I mean, it's
okay,
just, it's so many Reavers. Like, this is just cleaning up all of these little units that are just clumping together as they attack. It's hard to keep everything spread up when you're trying to attack into this. And this is that, like, really potent kind of defense. You get Storms if you need them, lots of Reavers, cannons to help out, Archons, just all this stuff. So when you send these waves of units, like, you're doing, like, this is just as efficient as it gets for Raz. You actually see the supply lead starting to grow a little bit here. If you get to keep holding on, though, that's all you need to do, I think. But still, Agio really focused on making this base happen, and I'm just not sure if he's actually going to be able to break through. Oh, finally,
yeah, I mean, this is like the only way Protoss can stay in the game at this point is like with these really good defensive trades here with these Reavers set up. We don't have the Reaver damage upgrade yet. I would like to see that, but look at how many kills are on these defending units at this bottom left. We have like 1 Reaver with 30 kills, the Archon with 12, one with 17. Well, like, so much value going on here.
I mean, we're starting to hit a problem though for Red Raz, because if you look, so many bases are mined out at this point. And it's like, if everything's focused on this base because it has to be. If he loses this base, so you can see, look, so many cannons, all these Reavers. It's just as much as you possibly can. You have to play tower defense as long as possible. And it's just giving a window for Agio. He keeps taking bases. Drone doesn't mind nearly as much. You actually see more drones, but spread out over so many bases. Like, it's not even a problem. A Nexus does finally go up to the 3rd. Maybe that's your opportunity to get something done. But this pressure is just relentless down the corner. Can you hold on for longer? And here comes the Dark Swarm, I think. This might be what you're looking for. Actually, just plaguing the front. I like that choice as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you have unlimited mana, you might as well cast all your spells, right? Ooh, and we have a drop setting up here. Probably going to drop into the lower left main and just circumvent this defensive wall here. I mean, like, this game is definitely just trending more and more in favor of Zerg. Like, there's no aggression possibility for Protoss at all. It's just every unit is just trying to defend a high ground base at this point, right? Like, there's no squads running around, there's no more drops, there's no more Corsairs. It's just Zerg getting to do whatever they want. And here comes that drop into the lower left.
Yeah, I'm a little confused what's going to be the plan from Raz. He's adding on air weapons and more Stargates as well back at home. So, you know, maybe just planning to switch into something that's going to be wild. But this drop has so many units in it. Lynx and Ultra is going to melt these buildings. We'll see if Raz even tries to move up here and defend it. A couple storms go down, but this base is getting eliminated. That's the one that hasn't been mining this whole time. Yeah. So that's a big win for Agio. Manages to finally break through, get some damage done. Darkstorm up at the front as well. We'll see if he moves forward, but there's just not enough units here. But if you could just keep doing the damage you're doing right now, I think everything's looking pretty. This is, like, how do you fight this? Yeah. Like, it gets into this crazy late game, and you can see Raz, like, his army has to be together or it gets picked apart, and it's just these Zerg spellcasters are so potent. We do see that 2 Stargate Corsair production. It may be like just to defend against drops later, or if you get like a big supply block and you can they can't keep reinforcing, that might be the move. Attack over at that 3 o'clock, but Reavers, Cannon, Archon, like you're not gonna get in there just with some Lings and Lurkers. You're gonna need something that kind of help you out. But that's still a lot of supply invested in defense over there. Agio sends all his stuff back to the bottom left. The war zone will not be moved. It will be here.
Yeah, we do have a Greater Spire about to finish for Zerg. I'm trying to get some units, which I'm sure will morph into a Guardians. And I realize like we're very close to seeing every single Zerg unit in this game. Like we only have to see Queens, Defilers, and Guardians, and then we've seen every single unit. Zerg is just getting them to do whatever they want.
Well, right now what they want to do is just attack in the Reavers, but those units from that drop before, they're going to move down the ramp. This is so much harder to defend through. Storm's going to be very useful on that tight ramp, but all these cans end up going down. These Star Storms still so potent. Reavers doing everything they can, but finally they're getting cleaned up here. The defense is broken. Agio's going to break through. Rad's going to lose his base, and now what do? This is so tragic. The Corsairs show up. They're trying to help while they can, but they can't shoot these Ultras. This is just brutal here. So much damage finally getting done from Agio. He's done his job taking the bases he needed as well. So now it's just down to, what, like 2 mining bases for Raz? And one of them is just the mineral only that's low on minerals as well? Like, this is a brutal situation.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any way Protoss can be efficient enough to win. They're on 1 base left like this. Look at how much mining Zerg is doing. Zerg has the complete tech tree unlocked. Zerg has a huge standing army. Just
a lot of guards got morphed. A lot of guards got morphed to the natural too. They could just waltz right on over to that 3rd base, and there's a lot of good splash damage, but there's no storms there. The fight keeps raging down at the bottom left, and Agio taking the hatchery himself, like, nah, my base, dude. I earned it. He wants it so badly, but this Protoss army is going to come on over. He's going to be able to shut that down. And we're seeing a lot of Ultra Ling moving towards that 3 o'clock. That's the next target. And the Guardians are going to slowly waddle over. There's a couple Zealots up at the thing, but again, no storms, no real anti-air. These Corsairs need to get here in a hurry to help defend this, or this siege is going to be brutal. They're walking into cans, though. They're taking a lot of damage they don't need to, but they're just trying to kill these Reavers so that you can break on in with the core ground units. Oh god, they're suicided for the Reaver, but are they going to get it? It's so close, they don't get the other one. Unfortunately,
yeah,
but this is
I always feel like Guardians are like, they're actually not good in this matchup at all, but like, I feel so angry when I see them because it's like, oh my god, please, just leave me alone. I'm just trying to play this game. But this is basically the last real mining base for Protoss, and it is completely dead. Like Protoss is like getting a consolation prize of killing the 9 o'clock, but like who cares really, right? The Zerg is completely fine with this trade.
Yeah, I mean, losing that base there. He's trying to take Nexus down the bottom left again, but you can see, like, now it doesn't have a pile of Reavers, a million cannons, some storms, and all this thing. So this whole Zerg army just waltzes right on over. Takes a mid-game fight, has a bunch of Mutalisks now. You gotta be very careful with those Archons, but, like, these Mutalisks can be walking around doing damage as well. I think Raz is kind of on the ropes here. I think you have to commit. If you can't defend these bases in the bottom left, the game's over because you just don't have the mining to keep attempting to make nexuses.
Yeah, it looks like the one in the bottom left is shut down for now by these mutas. Basically, every single Protoss unit is in the lower left corner of the map, and we're about to see every Zerg unit go down there to meet them. There's even like 2 drones in this attack force.
I can't believe he was trying to micro-mute us against like 1,000 Archons and Storms. Like, you're an animal. What are you doing here? But he's got the money to do it. Actually, the gas income's a little bit worrying for the Zerg. You can see burning through quite quickly. Just adding on Hydras now just to get something a little cost-effective. But here comes that big move. Lots of Storms available. First one's going down. Not so bad. It's getting some decent damage here. But I think at some point, you're just not going to have the power you need if a real big committed attack comes through. Agio is not rushing into it. Well, here comes those reinforcements from the top. Big flank's about to happen. I don't know how you survive this as Raz.
Yeah, we'll see here. This is going to be like the heroic last stand here from Protoss, I think.
Oh god, a Guardian's rolling through. He's back.
Oh no.
Oh
yeah,
man.
Guardians.
Yeah, all the Gradients going down, the Archons whittling away. Storms being used as best as they can. They're doing all the damage
Huge storms.
possible. But that's both sides losing so many units here. But now Zerg's up 40 supply, up 40 workers of supply, with all this economy still rolling through while Raz is just trying to hang on for dear life. Look at, he's at 172. There's basically no mineral income here. He's got to get these bases online. The Nexuses are done, but there's just nothing mining.
Yeah, like, how can you possibly get probes across the map safely at this point, right?
Shuttles, I guess. I don't know. Like, there's no real way to do this, I don't think. As
Get arbiters and just recall them across the map.
Yeah, the ultra late game tech. Just get spellcasters, man. Mana's free.
Exactly.
But you can see there's like no money left. That means even the Reavers are going to start having trouble just making Scarabs here. Archon's Templar are going to have to be the way to go. You can just see that army just keeps it whittled down. Down to 59 supply. This is the last bastion. Going to try to move forward. Archons and Storms doing everything they can, but it's going to eventually run out of energy. These Archons eventually going to run out of shields, and I think Agio is going to be able to close this one out as he's taking all these other bases. The 9, the 3. He still has tons of economy. Again, he's just in such a good spot. Raz just can't get the job done, I don't think.
Yeah, Raz has been just heroic staying in this game.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's just to make me look stupid. I'm like, I don't know how he holds this one. It's like, I'll show you how I hold it. It's like, you're not, like, you're still in a bad spot. It's like, but I held it, and you looked dumb while you said it.
Technically still alive.
Technically still alive is the best kind of alive, but not for too much longer. The Hydra's going to whittle down. If they can kill that Robo, no more Reavers for you, even though you really don't have the money to support them anyway. The pros are going to try to get through the Hydras, and they're going to let them in. What the hell?
I mean, it's only 4 probes, like.
Hey, that's important right now, honestly. But we see the 3 o'clock starting to get reinforced, some Sunkus as well. Static defense being used to make sure that he doesn't commit any army at these bases. Just make sure a little tiny counterattack doesn't go through. This mineral only base, a couple Hydras going to scare away the only Templar. And the Hydra's moving through. They're doing everything they possibly can here. Do the Archons have enough shields to fight this off? They're actually pretty healthy here. But any little bit you can do seems pretty reasonable. Muta's on the way, maybe Guardians to close it out. A lot of Lings up at the top as well. This game's going on for so long, maybe hard to keep track of all the units you're making, but I don't know, man. Raz just doesn't have the money. It's going to be so hard to keep holding on here. Probes trying to get transferred, not going to happen.
We have another drop being geared up. I'm sure it's going to go to the bottom left here and kill this base yet again.
Oh yeah, it's just 4 Hydras too. It's not even like a real commitment of units.
Like I feel like Agio is like taunting Rez. Like as Rez loses more units, these attacks have gotten smaller from Zerg, even though Zerg absolutely has the economy to make more giant waves.
Well, I mean, you say that, but it's not like Agio's not spending his money. Like, he's kind of on fumes as well. He's doing what he can. I've actually never seen Zerg with this many mined out bases. This is actually insane. Like, you got multiple bases, like I think 5 of them completely mined out. So the drone count's huge, 74. This actually might be at the point where it's like, you have a lot, dude. Like, maybe too many? Hard to tell, but the Hydras go down that bottom left base. Nexus gets killed off. No contest. Guardians are going to press on in. Lots of Lings being streamed through as well. It's just 2 Archons and some Templar. How good are Storms? Are they good enough here? The Guardians moving forward, spaced out enough. Storm's not going to be able to do all the damage they need to. They're doing a lot and whittling everything down. Here comes the big engage here from Agio. And finally, Raz, he can't hold on forever. Agio takes a ridiculous game 1. That was epic all the way through.
All right. That game, I need like a quick 5-minute break. Is that okay?
You can take a quick break. We got things to show. That's fine.
I'll be right back. Sorry about that.
Dude, it's okay. Now, unlike my esteemed co-caster, I'm here for you guys. We got things to show. We got things to talk about. If you guys are enjoying what we're doing here, this is a thing we do every season. We got little event matches outside just the CPL. We do like King of the Tier tournaments. We do a team reveal stream. That's tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time. So that's going to be around. It's going to be me and Snipe and Stromcaller and Age, our host as always, talking about the next season. Maybe maps, maybe teams, maybe coaches, all sorts of stuff. You have to be here to see it. We still have plenty of games tonight for you all, so don't worry. Like, you're getting a giant supply of things in here. I think we got one more of this and then 3 more complete sets. We're not even halfway done. Like, we got so much stuff going on. Other than that, the preseason has ended, which means we got casting. We got plenty of casting going on for everybody. So we've done our match of the weeks. Those are every Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Those are going down without any real issue. We also have some community casting going on. I know Pancake Princess has done some. Cold Warp Gates, the guy has stepped away. He's doing a thing on his channel. I think Seraph and Packrat did some as well. So, keep your eyes on the Discord. You'll see if we have anything rolling through. The weekend after, I believe there were some events, but you know what? I'm not sure how public details are. So, but this weekend's chock full of CPL 7 stuff. Next weekend, too, keep your eyes out. There's going to be stuff, I believe, as well. And other than that, yeah, I'm getting yelled at. I have not casted you. There's like 300 people in this season. It's the biggest season to date. We'll get to people, but you know what? If you want to get casted, you can jump in there and cast yourself as well. How about that? But everyone else, I hope you're having a good time with this. You can subscribe to the channel. There's a Ko-fi. We got like a lot of people behind the scenes doing a lot of hard work. Shout outs to Stormcar and Snipe running everything. We got our casting coordinators. It's me. We got in the blind Pancake Braces helping out. Cold Warp Gates. We've upgraded him since he does so much work anyway. We might as well give him the title. The coaches that always volunteer the time, assistant coaches that play and also try to help out people, everyone behind the scenes, everyone forward facing in the league that just makes sure this runs and gets everything going the best as we can, keeps growing the season every year. We're so excited that this has been successful and just keeps getting better and better. And we just keep going, like CPL 100. When is it? Who knows? How does one sign up to cast CPL? Message me on Discord. I've been busy this week. I've been like delaying people. After this cast, I'm taking care of everybody, and then I am going to actually enjoy my weekend and then go be social for a bit. Now it's a possibility. Yeah. Yep, Snipes got it right. Match casting coordinators. That's me. That's Nibline. That's Cold Warp Gates and Pancake Princess. You hit up anybody, we can help you out. Ugh. It's been a long day, though. I'm so excited to keep going with it. These games have been fantastic. I made some green tea to help. Like, I was like, oh, I'll be ready. I should have made more. I made a mistake. But if any of you got questions about CPL while we're in a little bit of a downturn right now, hop on in. We can get those answered up while we're waiting. Or not, he's back. Fantastic. I was running out of shill, man. I did it as long as I could. Alright, so we're going in for that game 2 between these players. The game 1 was ridiculous, Polaris Rhapsody. This could be a pretty intense one as well. Can't wait.
Yeah, I get like that game started with a 9 pool speed. By the way, like we got into that super epic long game.
Yeah, 9 pool speed, Ling's in the main. Ling's left to me, he's like, nah, give him a show. I'm not gonna end it here. Absolutely fantastic. Alright, into game 2. In the top left, after a brutal defense, it's Red Raz and the Green Protoss.
And in the bottom right, with an epic late game performance, it's Drone Dance, aka Agio, in the brown circ.
Alright, so 2-player map now. If you like going 9 pool speed on Polypoid, you probably do it here too, right?
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it'd be pretty useful here. Like, I just don't know what you're trying to do on this map. I feel like on 2-player maps, you could be really aggressive because you know where your opponent is. You can time out everything. You know what you're really looking for. And looking at like the natural, the opening's kind of big. I feel like it might be difficult to hold on like against Hydra attacks if you want to really be in there. Yes, the minimap overlay says Coach-Pupil League 6. New graphics have not been made just yet. Unfortunately, this is CPL 7, I promise you. Do not worry. We will have new graphics as soon as they are available.
No, I think the overlay is legally binding, right? Like, I don't know if we can do that, right? It says 6, but we're saying 7. It's just complete lawlessness.
Okay, well then it's because we're casting 6 sets of games today.
There
you go.
There you go.
It's just
Nice.
free knowledge. That's all it is.
Nice.
Now we are seeing, though, not an early pool. In fact, an early hatchery, totally mixing it up, I think. Like, with this drone scouting around a little bit just to see if there's anything happening. Managed to get the hatchery first, so totally different build. And actually, we're getting something totally different from Raz as well. Actually going Forge first instead of Gateway. So, very different game. This is ridiculous to see what these players are doing here. You figured the aggression would come on the two-player map. These guys disagree.
Yeah, so I actually like Forge Expand on two-player maps because I feel like Forge Expand does really well if you can scout the opponent and like get the cannons at the right time and so on. Okay, so just because Neblab's not here, I have to ask: does Cannon Rush work on this map? Like,
We're about to find out.
We're about to find out. All right. I really hope that Raz has practiced this. It looks like there's definitely room for at least one cannon back here, maybe two, in this little nook on the right. I have no idea. The thing is, I really don't like cannon rush in this game at all. Like, I feel like if the Zerg knows what to do, they can get...
Oh, don't lose that probe.
Oh my god, and they can attack through the minerals there? That sucks.
Well, he was trying to just make sure they can't do what just happened there. You can try to hop over the minerals and deny this a little bit. That first cannon going down, the probe locked behind it. Oh, he could do a little bit of the damage from here. These almost melee units, so brutal in this matchup. Can't get enough drones over. I think this cannon might actually finish.
Yeah, I feel like if the probe had bounced out to the right, this would be much stronger. But like this one drone here, so I guess the cannon is going to get up. Let's see if Sunks can get up in time here. We have a second probe. We're gonna try to help out, maybe build some more cannons.
I mean, definitely an opportunity here. We are seeing Lings on the way, though, and back at home, it's a Nexus before any cannons at all. Like, do you make the choice as Akio to go for the counterattack? That probe that's not in the middle line.
Coming. I feel like
the Lings can get in this.
Oh, what? The Link could just walk back? Are you serious?
Slightly smaller than drones, unfortunately. The cannon goes down. The Sunken did not die, so that's going to start regenerating health as well. This is a big investment. And while it was annoying, it didn't really do that much. So this is pretty bad here. The gateway goes down trying to lock off the rest of this wall, but you could see Agio probably feeling pretty comfortable. That big investment not leading to a whole lot. It's delaying a lot of the tech. Manages to survive with the hatchery first. And that drone count's not looking bad either, so I don't know, man. I think that's why you don't see a lot of cannon rush in this game. It's very hard to execute and actually get the damage done.
Yeah. Like, it set Zerg back a little bit, but not nearly as much as it set back the Protoss, I think.
Okay, so I know it's always a problem for me to ask because I just don't know the answers to these things. But this wall, to me, looks a little like is there a gap above the gateway and this terrain? Is this gonna be difficult?
I know sometimes the top of the gateway, it's like the top of the gateway is on the terrain. Sometimes Lings can get between there. I don't know about this map. I do know that like the way that I don't think this is the only way to the wall here. Like I think if the gateway was just wait hold on, yeah, there should be a gap between the forge and the gateway too, right? So this is definitely not the correct wall for this position, I think. And it's like so far out of the choke that if Agio goes for Hydras, they're gonna have such an easy time clearing out this wall.
Yeah, we are seeing a third hatchery going down. Gas starting to be mined here. I want to see Hydras, and there it is right there. This is going to punish this kind of opening. There's so much investment on that cannon rush. You would know it slowed everything down. And unfortunately, it was the Nexus before any cannons. That wasn't punished off, so at least Raz's economy seems pretty reasonable here. But with all the tech getting slowed down here, I think going for Hydras might be really potent. This probe trying to scout what it can. Ling's going to keep swaying things off, and we'll see if we can get things done.
Yeah, like if anything went wrong for the Protoss, like you said, like 3-hatch Hydra is so strong because it requires such a precise response that like it's hard to deal with it in a normal game, let alone in the game where you lost a bunch of money with a failed cannon rush. We do have one Zealot just man-moding, walking past the Sunken. It's going to get right into the main, see the Hydra dead, maybe even threaten a few of these drones. This is a huge play from Rez.
I mean, this is about as good of a situation as you're going to get. You're going to get the scouting info. But you haven't seen the Hydras being made. Now you got to, like, take that gamble. Like, are they actually going to commit to the attack?
Does see one Hydra pop.
I mean, this is, like, one of the strengths of the build, right? Like, you could just say, you know what, I'm good, and not make Hydras, and your opponent starts preparing for Hydras, and then you're in a great spot, because it's not like Agio's drone count is unhealthy. He's adding on more hatcheries behind this as well, so he's going to have plenty of production, very similar to what we saw in the first game, but much earlier Hydra, then a couple Hydras starting to move back across the map as these upgrades roll through, and going up to those 5 hatcheries as well.
Yeah, we're not going to see like an all-in Hydra bust here, but it's still going to be a great position for Zerg. Like, even with a handful of Hydras, they're going to be able to kill this gateway and forge, just keep the Protoss stuck in their base, force these cannons out. It's just more trouble that Protoss does not want to deal with. Well, I say that as cannon kills a Hydra, so that's nice.
I mean, you can just see the layout, though, with this being on the angle. I think it's going to be hard to actually get enough cannons that are, like, it's not like, you know, vertical where you have, like, 3 rows. It's like everything looks super nice. Things being built at an angle like this, I think there's going to be angles you can find once this range completes, where you can start chipping away at things, and there's just going to be no cans or maybe just a 1. Corsairs on the map at least going to try to get some Overlord kills, supply block a little bit, slow things down, and get an idea if more Hydras keep coming forward. But this is just going to be really difficult for Raz to hold, I think. But Zealot Leg's about to finish. Hydra Range just finished as well, and Alair's being started behind this as more gateways get added. So I think both players planning to survive this and go to the next part of the game. It's going to be difficult to actually close it out.
And Raz to get this +1 before his forge goes down. I feel like if Agio arced his Hydras very carefully, he can snipe down the forge with just 2 hitting it. I think the upgrade is going to finish.
It seems like it will. That's unfortunate.
A big difference. Yeah.
Ooh, and speed kicks in. The +1's about to finish. Zealot's going to engage here. Nice. There's not a tremendous amount of Hydras here. They aren't spread out. You're going to be able to repel this attack without having to add on too many cannons behind it. Now the tables are turned. Raz is going to move forward, force a reaction out of Agio to make sure he doesn't take too much damage from this counterattack. Back at home, there's still that 1 sunken at half health. The other base starting to add on a creep quality. That's not even finished yet. A lot of hatcheries of larvae are available, but the actual static defense not super plentiful right now. Let's see if these Zealots can get some damage done.
So yeah, running into the natural, there's only a handful of Hydras and that bruised sunken colony trying to micro on the ramp, doing a really good job of drone drilling with these drones. Oh my god, really nice. Like, you know, like to do that, he has to like be looking at the third and his main. Like, so just taking huge advantage of those camera hockeys, killing every Zealot, and not losing that many units for it. Yeah, really nice.
That's ridiculous how well that was held, and especially because that sunken was just chipping away while they're on the ramp, adding so much damage to that. And now the Hydra's back on the map control given right back to Agio. But Raz at least felt comfortable enough. He's taking the Nexus up at the 12 o'clock, going to be able to get some more economy here. Of course, they're still scouting around, should be able to confirm what's going on. Spire just getting started here. Maybe we get some more Overlord kills like what we saw early on last game. There's a lot of gateways back at home, working on making some Templar storms on the way as well. So this army from Raz is going to look pretty potent here. And unlike what we saw before, ooh, DT on the bridge, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that DT is actually really clutch. Like, because I think with like a conventional army, Raz would not be able to stay to keep that third alive. But the DT is going to take advantage of the slow overlords. And like, this Corsair has 3 kills. That's nuts for like one Corsair by itself with a bunch of Hydras. Like, just the multitask it would take to keep this Corsair alive is really impressive. So that's a really nice play there from Raz.
And this DT is still looking around. There's no vision here. Going towards that 12 o'clock base, trying to kill somebody who can, but the DT is going to help out. There's a couple of Zealots to distract as well. So I don't think this attack's going to go too far. Great
Huge storm.
Ooh, brutal.
Oh my god.
So much damage dealt to these Hydras. A lot of Templar moving forward. The DT should be enough to clean it up as it is. At the cost of maybe a Zealot or 2 and 2 cannons, he's going to be able to repel this pressure, establish that third base. Agio is going to take the 3 o'clock of their own to get another base up. And both players just trying to do these little attacks, try to see if they can like do something. Their opponent's just a little under defended, but both players have the perfect amount of defense every time.
Yeah, I mean, like the Protoss lost like 3 cannons, I think, at the third and a High Templar, but getting a base up before 12 minutes is huge for Protoss. There's no gas here, sadly, but it is a decent amount of mineral fields here.
Yeah, that's not really the end of the world in this matchup. Zealots are still really good. You need a lot of minerals for Dragoons as well, which you'll have to start transitioning to that. Ooh, we're actually going Mutas?
Looks like just 4. I know it's like a thing to open with 4 or 5 mutas just to throw the Protoss off. I haven't seen a switch like this, like kind of late into the game. I think we're down to 1. No, oh, so we do already have 4 Corsairs. I don't know how effective this muta switch is going to be. It looks like there's 6, not 4. There's no cannons in the main, so they might get some damage done, but I think we already have enough Corsairs to deal with it.
Ooh, Probe's getting transferred. This could be an opportunity. The cannon immediately gets killed off by Glaives, but there's a couple Corsairs here. 4 Corsairs begin a lot of free firing off here. Mia's gonna have to back off. They get a little bit of damage done, but nothing too bad. Having to spread out, and this moving shot is doing so much damage here. The Corsair is gonna be able to really punish this attempt at the muta switch, but it does buy time for Agio. That 3 o'clock base set up and a hatchery down the bottom left, moving up to 5 base here. Raz's gonna have to be careful to not let this get out of hand, otherwise you might get another late game situation like before.
Yeah, and this gas at the bottom left, this base has 2 gas geysers, so that income can go up really high. It looks like Raz was thinking about taking the top right base, but gets caught up in the overlord. Now this probe is just scouting. He's gonna find more mutas.
Probe goes down. A lot of units over there, so that should indicate there is the base, but look at this move out. Middle of the map here, lots of Hydras moving out. Raz got this little ground army. It's pretty good. Some Corsairs, Templars, Zealots, like nice core efficient units. Honestly, this late in the game, I'm surprised we're not seeing Lurkers from either side. We're not seeing the Observers either.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're gonna have to sacrifice something, right? This is part of getting that 3rd base up, getting Templar tech and goons, you only have so much gas, right? And I guess if you see lots of mutas, you would assume that the lurker tech has been delayed.
Yeah, that seems quite reasonable. As we see, just as that fight was breaking out, finally getting started off here, lots of Hydras being made, so not being as ridiculous with the drones this time, really trying to make sure there's a ground army, doesn't let one Raz get on the map and start feeling comfortable. A lot of gateways back at home to keep replenishing this army, and he's really positioning himself. I wonder if he's trying to take that top right base, get a 4th base up and running. But we're taking little skirmishes here and there, but I gotta be careful how you position. Like, you see where he is right now. That bridge is wide open for a counterattack, that left side as well. So this map can be very hard to maneuver your army without leaving yourself open for some kind of damage on the return. But here comes the attack at the 3.
Yeah, and there is a base going out at the top right, but first of all, deal with this fight, and he storms all over the Hydras. So much damage going out. Is it enough? That looks like some of the Templar are getting sniped. I think it's enough for the Protoss to win this fight. The Goons and the Zealots stay alive, force the Hydras to retreat. We have the Corsairs going into the 4th base, killing a bunch of Overlords. Really nice play here from Rez.
Ooh, some Scourge going through. Goons here, they stop though, trying to fight the best they can. 2 Corsairs go down, but yeah, big damage going over. More Overlords getting killed, and Hydra's going to try to re-engage, but I don't know, this army from Protoss is pretty strong right now. 2-1 upgrades, pretty good. There's no armor here, but at least the attack is pretty good as well for Agio, so going to be able to keep up there and not be completely overrun. Lurkers on the way now, the aspect has been finished, and armor is being produced. But that Nexus in the top right, not being pressured. The Overlord's right there. It sees it. Like, it knows.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get that next base up and 4 base versus 5 pro, it's not feeling too bad. Moves in position to keep putting pressure on this 3 o'clock. This Evo Chamber to just make this the smallest choke in history is actually fantastic. I love that.
Like, just forget about trying to kill this base. It's never ever going to happen until you have like a bunch of Reavers or D-Web or something. Looks like Agio is trying to pressure the a natural of Raz, but his army is back in position just in time.
Yeah, I mean, he does kill the Forge, though, as that +3 attack was about to get started up. So, I mean, you're slowing things down while you're getting your own upgrades going. Nothing feels bad about that at all. More Lurkers being made around the map. And we haven't seen the attempt to go up to Hive Tech yet. I don't think the Queen's Nest has been made, if I'm correct. So, like, that's all going to be pretty far away. Really staying in the middle of what we're going here. Raz move his army pretty far south. Reinforcements could be caught out by these Hydras, though. This would be big to eliminate some of this army. Ooh, great storm.
Storms have been on point all game.
Yeah. Doing big damage.
Shot down, though.
Oh, yeah, not what you're looking for here, but I mean, there's not a lot of Lurkers with his army just yet. Still mostly Hydras. The Lurkers have been made for sure, but they're just not like really around just yet. It's a lot of units going through. There's a lot, storms have been used, so eventually it's going to kind of get mitigated. And we see Overlords flying towards the base. This is like the fakes, like you remember what I did last time with all those traps? But the Corsairs turn around, they don't even care. They're going to keep moving forward. Lurkers finally re-engaging with this army. Up at the high ground. Pressure down at the bottom left. Is this going to be enough to do it? Is there a Observer with this army? Yeah, one just shows up in time.
Get picked off. No, it does sneak away from the Overlord really quick. God, more huge storms here. This has been such a strong point for Res all game, but the last Templar is dead, so no more storms. But I think that there's enough Protoss left here to threaten these bases in the lower left part of the map.
Yeah, without the hive tech, no defilers to kind of shenanigans your way through, no cracklings. Like, you just need to use the Slayer tech units, and they're not nearly as good at fighting the Protoss army like this straight up. There's not a lot of static defense here down at this 6 o'clock base either. So the attack keeps going through. Agio can't hold on. Raz going to even it up and make it a 1-1 series.
Protoss.
Oh, that was a fantastic series both ways, Stir. I mean, all the games we've been watching have been great, but that series in particular, like watching high-level ZVP is such a good time.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 3 more sets coming up, though. We still got some of the juicy ones hanging on. We're going to make sure you guys hang around for the entire stream. So we're moving into our next one. It's Siki versus Hawk. Hawk, y'all know Hawk. He's been around the scene forever. Like, if you're involved in CPL, you know about him. He's a S-rank player. He won the Rogue City Rumble, so if you're not watching any of that kind of content, that's on YouTube as well. And it's pretty good. A lot of high-level players. Good thing for the foreign scene. And he's in the BSL Pro League, so Hawk definitely a pretty strong player. Great coach as well. Lots to learn from. And I believe he's already done one of the Discord coaching lessons, which we do have coaches kind of just showing up on Discord coaching for free. If you see those in the announcements on Discord, make sure you tune in on those. They're a great time. Siki, though, from Hungary. He's another S-rank player. And BSL 12, he got 4th place in the Pro League, so quite the result there. This is going to, like, I feel like as these games keep moving forward, they're going to keep getting higher and higher level, and we're just going to be watching some fantastic StarCraft rest of the day. Yeah, Snipe says Hawk coaching later today on Discord, so yeah, make sure you're around. I believe it was at 7 p.m. Eastern, if I remember correctly. I think that might be around time, but that's going to be sometime later tonight. Free coaching to hang out with Hawk. So, you know, if you want to root for him now, since he's going to be helping you out later, that wouldn't be the bad call. But how did you guys go for it in what we have for those polls? You guys think Siki's going to take it. A lot of faith in the 2-0 for Siki. Hawk a little bit of the underdog here. Well, he'll see if he can change your mind.
Yeah, it's DBZ. It's basically rock, paper, scissors, right?
I think it's like more like rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. Like the whole thing. You need extra offense.
Yeah.
But you know what, ZVZ, very fun matchup. Lots of exciting moments. So we'll get into that and get ready for some probably aggression and some good micro. In the bottom right, in the magenta Zerg, it's Soul Siki.
And in the top left, it's IRK Hawk as the red Zerg.
All right, man, this is ZVZ. I love Protoss for Protoss because we play it, but I love watching this mirror so much. It's super fun.
Yeah. I've said this before. I don't understand why people hate mirrors so much. I mean, I think TV2, like, I don't, TV is not my favorite, but not because it's a mirror. It's just because of how slow it can be. But like the other mirrors, like they're really fun to watch.
I think that a part of it is that if you play a mirror, it feels a little bit bad when it's like they had slightly more of a thing because they were slightly greedier or something, and then they win and it's like a really big victory. It tends to happen a lot in these matchups, where it's like, you know, it's like, oh, it's that one High Templar that stormed all the Hydras that has at least a little more satisfaction to it. Now, it is cross spawns on Polypoint. No one's going to get that easy Overlord scouting advantage, and there's going to be a decent amount of distance between the two, so I wonder if anyone's going to be a little bit greedier, go for an early hatchery, or if they're rushing for any kind of lair tech. So far, mirrored builds, no one going for that 9-pool opening.
Yeah, we'll see here. I mean, the players have to decide what build they're going for before they can scout each other, really, unless it's like a very close fire map.
Yeah, well, I mean, with this being a 4-player...
Yeah,
with the 4-player map here, both players kind kind of drawing up pretty hard. Finally a move. Hawk making a pool on 12, so you're going to be able to have the access to a reasonably fast tech, but a decent drone count behind it. And meanwhile, Siki, we're seeing actually go for hatchery first and at the natural. During our last CPL cast, I talk a lot of stuff about this particularly because I feel like it's hard to hold this, but these high-level players, I know they can do it. I'm not even worried about it. So if Siki can hold on to this base, he has the extra larva, and you'll have access to a second gas later. I think it puts pressure on Hawk to get something done early.
Yeah, and like a 12 pool isn't, it isn't the most aggressive build possible. So I think Hawk's potential to punish this hatchery first is going to be a lot less than we might be if we saw like a 9 pool speed or something like that. And given that it's across positions and they won't even know about it for a long time.
Yeah, I actually kind of wonder here. Like, we're going to have to see where the gas gets spent from Hawk. But both players got a late pool and a late hatchery. It's just that Hawk went the pool before and Siki went the hatchery before. So I feel like there's going to be an opportunity, both players. It's not like you're going to get lings when your opponent's unprepared for them. But Hawk definitely going to be able to get the faster tech if they want it. And they're going to choose to get the ling speed, not rushing for that lair. I think that might be a little bit unfortunate if you knew this spot, getting that early muta lead is so big in this matchup. But going to go for this ling speed, make sure the opponent can move out. But I don't think Siki's looking to move out the way they're playing right now, as they got the lair before the ling speed. So you can see Hawk got the earlier pool, got the earlier gas. He's not going to be the first one to mute us.
Oh, it looks like we have quite a few links from Hawk going across the map. The links from Siki do spawn basically just in time. We'll see what the micro matchup is going to be here.
Well, I mean, it is 8 lings here, defender advantage for Siki, looking pretty good. Hawk had to scout around with stuff because he didn't know where the opponent was. And you can always have the nice defender advantage, get the concave on the top of the ramp to help make this engagement a lot better as you buy time. But with that hatchery on the low ground, that's kind of why I don't particularly like it that much for myself. But these guys are going to know how to handle this dance. Here come the lings. They're going to start chipping away at things. Siki does still have more lings and advantage, but the ling speed's done for Hawk, not for Siki. Still about halfway away. A lot of lings being added on behind it. Can Hawk get the damage done? I think this it's just going to be too much lings back at home. Siki should be safe.
Yeah, and Siki's lair actually finishes slightly earlier, and the Spire is going to start just a little bit there. I don't think that's going to be a huge difference, but it is a nice optimization there for the Magentas there.
Yeah, Spire on the way. We're still not seeing it. Hawk does finish up their lair, but can't start yet. A little late on the minerals, unfortunately. Actually made a sunken back in their natural because they're so worried about this counterattack. There's so many lanes being made. No speed advantage anymore for either player. Here comes a bunch of lanes moving forward, and I don't think Siki is going to be able to break through. But look at this, Spire still hasn't started for a Hawk yet. This bought a big window of time. These mutas actually might have a significant timing advantage.
Yeah, it seems like a big unforced error here from Hawk. There we go. The Spire does finally go down. But this is huge. This is like a whole minute that we're going to have mutas from one player and not the other. And we're seeing like yet another. We're seeing an Evo chamber go down. I don't know if that's just trying to wall or like Hawk is aware that his Spire is late. But that's another drone that Hawk is down. So now Siki's up 4 drones, which of course is like absolutely gigantic in this matchup. It's 50% more drones now.
Yeah, I mean, really, this situation we're seeing from Siki, he cancels. I like that cancel there. Like, you think if there's going to be more aggression, he's going to remove it. I think this might be more to just get another sunken up, not the Evo chamber, and not try to do anything too crazy. There isn't an Overlord in position for Siki to get, like, any good vision about what's going on, so playing a little bit in the dark. But those mutas are, if there's 4 on the way, with that extra larva as well, things are looking pretty good. Still has plenty of gas as well, just a little bit gated on the money part of it. Hawk gonna move out here. Maybe he finds the window. A couple lanes from Siki gonna try to do a counterattack and distract, but Hawk's not biting at all. He's gonna keep moving across. He's got a big advantage here, but the mutas do pop, and I think they'll be able to help mitigate this attack. I think Hawk might be in trouble.
Yeah, well, see, I think he kind of needs these links to do lots of damage to make up for the difference in tech timing. But Siki seems to be aware of that and is positioned really well on the map. We even have a small counterattack from Siki here, but Hawk is able to deal with that.
I mean, you just want a lot of time. Hawk is finally making some moves of their own. The gas bank for them is not nearly as significant as for Zeke, because you can see that like just recently drones got added on. Zeke at one point was up 6 drones in this matchup, and he's just finding overlords. He's finding anything he can to keep slowing things down. He's going to supply block Hawk a little bit and just give Zeke more time to keep building his mutant count. And you can see without any really big fights turning one way or the other, this supply lead for Zeke is ridiculous.
Yeah. I think it just comes down to the build matchup. I guess we saw that kind of late fire from Hawk, but other than that, like we haven't really seen any big mistakes from him.
Oh, I actually like what we're seeing from Zeke. I think he wants to get really aggressive. He's making a bunch of Scourge. That helps you win that air fight so quickly. So if he manages to split them up and get a bunch of free damage done, you win that muta fight, and then you're feeling great. He's moving across right now. A whole bunch of Scourge, a whole bunch of muta. Like, just in general, the air dominance right now from Zeke is so good. It has more money banked up as well. But you can see, if he could find these Scourge with some good connections, it's going to get even worse. He's scouting around. He's not wasting them on an Overlord. This is bad. I don't know if I can hold this.
Oh yeah, there's like already like almost double the mutas here for Zeke, and we have all these Scourge. This is a really scary position for Hawk.
Well, things get split up. The Scourge going down, trying to get as best connections as they can, but all the mutas were on the top side. They get cleared out almost instantly. Sneaky has a giant freaking lead of mutas right here. The air dom is looking great. There's no real anti-air to speak of, and you can just keep reinforcing. The supply lead got out of hand real fast, trying to connect with a couple Scourge the best they can, but this is just too many units from our Magenta Zerg here. And that fight goes well in hand. Hawk has to tap out, and Sneaky takes a decisive game 1.
Very well done there.
Man, like, I know like that's like an abrupt short game, but this is why I like ZVZ. There's so much tension behind it, and just one good decision that your opponent wasn't ready for. I feel like because that Sunken had to get made at the natural, and it delayed the Spire so much, that's how it got so out of hand. Like, just a little bit greedier from Siki in a bunch of different spots, really shown comfort with the matchup.
I mean, you said that was a short game, but like, 9 minutes into a ZVZ is basically like late game, right?
Like, I still yearn for the days of the old Great and Hydra, like Hive Tech 30 minutes DVCs from the old Kesper era. They were good. But yeah, that was, it was decisive. I wonder if we are going to see different builds because of how that game went. Both players went pretty economically focused that one. When we're going to game 2, see if we make the same choice on this 2-player map. In the top left, in the blue Zerg, it's Soul Zeke.
And once again, in the red Zerg, in the bottom right, it's Iron Case Hawk.
Yep, so we'll see if things go a little bit different here. 2-player map, you know where your opponent's going to be. 9-pull, I think, becomes a lot more of an option because you're not going to, like, I didn't find them in time, So
it's also, like, a pretty long rush distance, so I don't really know how the math works out on that in terms of favoring builds.
Yeah, I'm really not particularly sure, but, I mean, if you saw, like, it might be a polypoint, a 4-player map thing, but you did see really economic opening. Hatchery first, I think if you go 9-pull, you have the opportunity to do some damage and kind of even things up a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if players maybe aren't that aggressive trying to set up their economy. Maybe a later pool, like the 12 pool, seems like it'd be good here. But, I mean, we'll see the choice. Both players making Overlord, so still no 9-pull, no massive aggression from either player. And we might get something very similar before. Maybe it's just the gentleman's agreement. It's like, nah, let's get set up. Let's have some fun.
We'll see. There's certainly no super early pulls just yet. Get that Overlord first, and I don't think we're going to see any overpull that would have started yet. So there's going to be something on 12.
I mean, just more drones coming out. So, well, we saw last game, Hawk did go for the early pool, and there it is, 12 pool from Hawk. We'll see if Siki feels comfortable enough to go for the extra hatchery. And no, they're going to go for the early pool as well, realizing 2-player map maybe wants to be a little more cautious. So mirrored builds, but still like a little bit unusual mirrored builds because you do get the pool, you're going to be able to make lengths, but it's not really fast, it's not rushing for tech. Both players getting gas behind it as well, so we'll see who can like be a little bit greedy or cut a little more corners here, as so far everything looks very mirrored. Even drones being moved down, I think they're both going to take another hatchery as well.
It seems like both players are doing the build that Asiki did in the first game, which certainly worked out pretty well.
Yeah, and this is a nice adaptation, I think. If you think your opponent is just going to do something very similar, changing your style to try to match it up. So maybe what we saw from Hawk in game one might have been a little bit of like a build doors disadvantage. So choosing to play differently instead, both players making lings as well. So still very mirrored between the two. So who's going to be that one, the one that can eke out an extra drone or two, or do you go for like the early lair instead of early ling speed? Like, it's all these little decisions. So far, no deviation between either player. It's going to all come down to that first engagement, and probably the defender's advantage might just be a really big part of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just going to see the game go into the like mass muta kind of period.
Oh, I like what we just saw from Hawk. I don't know if he got away with it all the way, but he moved those lings to the left, so they might have dodged the Overlord vision. So we'll see. There's going to be a fight in the middle of the map. Hawk knows that these are coming. Seiki maybe not as much. 6 lings meet in the middle. No one wants to take the fight. Here comes the micro battle. Come on, show it to me, guys. I want to see it. But Laird's going up for both sides. No one wants to take that early risk to lose their first sets of lings and be in a bad spot here. Overlords do manage to get through on both sides. Should be able to get any scouting info they're looking for here. But like I said, everything so far mirrored between the two players. Hawk did sneak out one extra drone. Sneaky trying to get a couple more lings, but so far very similar builds. Ooh, 2 lings on the side. This could be a good opportunity if you can get those. Hawk moves out in a bad spot with his Overlord in the middle map, catches him. Maybe a little counterattack.
I mean, just the scouting from these 2 lings, but here they go. They are going to go in. There's no drones in the natural kill, and they are going to get into the main. I think there's links here enough to kill them before they kill any drones. But just this information is very nice to have.
Well, it's good information, but he pulls some of these lings out of position. Here comes the reinforcement from Zeke.
Yeah, even more links.
Yeah, this could be a big move. 2 lings to pull enough out of position. Let's see if the engagement's good. Remember, Siki did make a couple more lings earlier on. The engagement's going through. Hawk getting the worst end of it to begin with so far. Still has a couple more drones, though. Spire on the way for Siki. Hawks is delayed, not being produced yet. And we'll see if he can get something done with these. Hawk has that defender's advantage. Reinforcements coming through. But Sneaky got a pretty good engage in that. And Hawk's Spire does just start up. A couple more lings in the main, just trying to cause whatever havoc they can. But I think that was a great little move from Siki. But he's got to be careful for the counterattack. But it does see the Spire time. He knows he's slightly ahead.
Yeah, Hawk Spire is delayed again, but not nearly as much as it was last game. But just I don't feel like Hawk really has the potential to counterattack. It's actually down in lings, I think, after this new wave from Asiki. We do have Hawk up in drones, which could pay off in the long run.
Yeah, definitely think there's an opportunity. So you can kind of try to move forward here on the bridge. Hawk could set up a nice little concave and be in a good spot. More reinforcements, so I think he's going to make Hawk make the choice. Like, are you going to burn your larva right now as your Spire's nearing completion? Are you burning it on lengths to survive and attempt to move around the side, get a little flank action? So Siki trying to position himself for a nice attack here as these Spires are about to complete on both sides. And I like what we're seeing. If you can execute this attack from 2 angles like this, it's going to be very hard to Hawk to hold it. Hawk moving his slings out of the way, pulls the trigger on the attack. Great surround immediately.
Yeah, like I'm kind of wondering why Hawk was trying to defend that huge area. I feel like you just, if you know you're kind of behind in lings like this, you want to just stay in your own natural, right? To kind of avoid getting surrounded. But now we have all these drones trying to make it back to the main mineral line. So many lings from Siki in here. Mutas are trying to pop from Hawk, but just like 2 or 3 mutas aren't going to be able to turn this fight around, I think. The Spire is going to get picked off before Hawk can do anything about it.
Oh, that's brutal. That's worth its weight in gold here. And he sees Siki back at home. He's making mutas, but he's also getting some Scourge as well. Nice cost effective if you need to like make sure you survive here. But no more mutas are going to be in production. These links are going to get cleaned up, but they've done so much damage. Hawk's drone count is ravaged after this attack. And it's going to be up to Hawk. He's got a couple hands of mutas. Do you use them for defense? Do you try to go attack right now? Because you can see Siki, he's pulling back. He's getting ready for the counterattack, and he can keep reinforcing as 4 more mutas are on the way.
Yeah, I don't know what Hawk can do to come back from this. Like, he doesn't have any advantage to make up for losing the Spire. I think we're just going to see Siki pull more and more ahead.
And it all comes down to that beautiful move with the lings, trying to get like a nice surround, attack from 2 angles across the bridge. And you can see the fight going down the middle. A couple Scourge going to pop out as well. The muta count's pretty similar between the players. And we see like this fight is just kind of getting whittled down. There is slightly more mutas for Hawk as they keep reinforcements from Zeke. Gonna keep moving through here. It's gonna be very close, but at least one player can keep making mutas behind it.
Yeah, Hawk is microing his heart out, but I guess it's just not enough.
It is just not enough. Lings are going to go for a counterattack, but not going to be able to get the job done. Hawk's going to tap out. Sneaky takes 2-0 pretty convincingly, and in a matchup that I think is hard to look really convincing over multiple games like that.
Yeah, just very, very commanding performance from Siki.
Oh man, that was definitely a wild one. All right, guys, we got 2 more sets of games for y'all. We got next one coming up, TVP. My favorite matchup, so I'm real excited to see this one. And it's going to be between Whip and CRVT. Whip, an S-rank player from Canada, in part of the NAS A team, plays in the Rogue City Rumble and Turf Wars. They won the Turf Wars 1, and plays in Nation Wars for Team Canada. So this is like high up player, real kind of like good guy. CVRT, on the mean hand, also S-rank in the Rev Clan, plays in the BWCL A division, and a chat crafter extraordinaire is the term. I believe that means he helps a lot in the Discord and like the help channels. So if you see him around, like he's coaching on his own time for fun. He just wants to help everyone out. So you know what? If you want to make him a little bit of the fan favorite, but I know Whip. I've seen them play. They are quite strong. So this is gonna be a great one. And we'll just before we get into it, what did you guys think? You're not sure how it's gonna go either. It's like 34% on like every column. 2-0, 1-1, and the 0-2. You guys have no idea what's going to happen. That just means you're excited to watch it, right?
Exactly.
Well, fantastic. Let's get right into it. Yeah, I'm hoping for some close games. These games have been super fun so far. Let's keep that rolling as we get into our 5th set of the day. In the bottom right, in the blue Terran, it's Taragi. God damn it, people.
And in the bottom left, in the red Protoss, it's CRVT, aka 99 YOLO. Or maybe 99 YOLO. Yeah, I bet it's a reference to 99 Gate.
Yeah, like, again, it's a Coach's Showmatch, and they're using alternate names. Why are we doing this? But you know what, TVP? You're the Protoss player, too. Do you like this matchup? I love this matchup.
I mean, to watch it is pretty cool. It's just easily my worst matchup to play, which I know is backwards, but God, I'm so bad at this matchup. It's so miserable.
Well, I'm just curious to see if we're going to see a little bit of the creative play from these guys. I feel it's so easy to go standard, and we're watching CPL's games especially. You see a lot of the very similar kind of looks on things that's like, it's 3-base Arbiter. It's like setting up for a mid-game push with Terran, but these guys, higher level, much better micro and execution. Maybe they do something a little more creative or aggressive, but we'll end up seeing how these guys want to play things out. I think Whip especially, very strong late game, so we will see if there's going to be any kind of attempt to make sure we don't get to that point. But I would love to see a long game just kind of play out as we just go into our normal kind of openings from both players. Ooh, get Barrish a little bit forward. Let's, set up the wall. No big deal.
Yeah, I think this is probably a sign that we're going to see like a Rax expand or like a bunker expand, some kind of pre-factory expand here from Whip, which has become a lot less popular lately. I don't think it doesn't look like it's going to be punished this game. Like we're not seeing like forward gate or something like that from CRVT. So that could put Terran in a slightly better economic position than normal.
Yeah, and fortunately, Terran's gonna get that first scout, so things looking pretty comfortable here. You get all that information. No, it's not a Nexus first. I think that's something you've always want to know the best you can. You're gonna get in here and see that it's just everything going according to plan, nothing unusual. So if you wanted to set up for your Rax expand, I think you are in a great spot considering that gas hasn't been taken yet. You have to assume that's what's coming, and there's that CC going down.
Or even the Marine. Just with this complete scouting information, Whip feels totally safe doing that, and I think he is totally safe. Like we don't even have a probe scout from CRVT here, so
yeah, this
is a long time.
Yeah, look at this. This is actually it was ranged before First Dragoon.
Yeah.
So like this is definitely maybe setting up for some kind of pressure later, using that early range to start chipping away at a bunker. But can't have that first Dragoon, no early Zealot, can't like force the scout out. We do see it's SUV just moving out of its own accord, wants to be a nice guy about it, but like really, Terran's just getting such a good angle on this right now as they start mining gas. And they're going to start making a bunker here, but there's no pressure, not for a while. Actually, the SCV is like really moving out here. I wonder if they're scouting around for any kind of shenanigans.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're like, wait a minute, why does Protoss not have any units? But like, it's also kind of normal. So I don't know. Maybe CRVT has a reputation for proxying tech or something, like proxying DT, something like that. And look, and the first goon isn't even done yet, and the Nexus is going down. So we,
well,
or never mind.
Yeah, it's one moving across.
Across the map. Never mind. All right.
It's moving across. It's all good.
So this is still a relatively fast expansion here from Protoss. What Terrans is done. So CRVT did see that the command center is done. So I'm sure
he did move forward enough to see it. That's good. Yeah. Always something you want to confirm, be absolutely sure of, not just like it looks like an expander about to 2-fact the crap out of you. But that range is about to finish. So.
Yeah, and we do have 2 follow-up factories. I don't know how aggressive you can be with these now. Like, I think you just have to get 2 factories to like get up to a normal amount of factory units. I know like that, like fac CC fac build can be pretty powerful with the quick push. I don't know if we're gonna see that here even with these 2 quick factories.
Yeah, well, here comes that first Dragoon chipping away. Using that range, he's going to force repair, so at least slow down some of the economic advantage here.
Yeah.
Considering how fast his armory is, we're going to start seeing these upgrades roll through. It's going to be really up to the Terran, like, what are they trying to get to before any kind of push? So we'll see if they're gearing up for like a nice +1 or if like going for a 2-1 or any of these kind of things. It's definitely a lot of options here. I'm not quite as versed in the Terran to know for sure, so just knowing that there's plan on upgrades and going to be in a comfortable spot, I think things look good. Robo on the way, should be able to get observers, and we're going to see with Protoss if they feel comfortable of taking a 3rd base anytime soon. Because right now, Terran's just been undisturbed. They got 5 extra workers, sitting real good.
Yeah, I think Protoss should definitely be taking a base soon. If they had map hack, they would definitely be taking a base.
Ooh, nice little kill there. Moved forward, trying to get one of the SCVs. Takes a little bit of shield damage, but here's that first tank out here. Siege mode about halfway done. So, gonna try to go back here. You have to be careful though. If you want to be real bold and kill that first tank, that could really slow down a lot of the Terran stuff.
SCVs, like CRVT is not sitting back. You're definitely trying to be aggressive, punish the Terran as much as possible for this greedy build, and doing so without really taking much hull damage on these goons. Just trying to keep it only to shields.
Yeah, I think there is an opportunity for some kind of attack though, because as this siege was about to finish up here, it's Vulture speed behind it, so real good for helping to reinforce. Spider Mine's being made as well, and you can see these Dragoons pulling way back, so they got the one Dragoon up at the front that will see the move out. But you see a 3rd Nexus going down, wants to be back at home, feeling comfortable, not like in any kind of spot for a counterattack. But it always feels a little dangerous if you just don't know what's going on. Now Probe's moving down to the 6 o'clock just to get a little spotting pylon action as well.
Worried about drops. Wood's got that dropship. It was taking the shortest path across here.
Yeah, it seems pretty reasonable. Academy going up as well, so gonna have the access to scan soon. But here comes those speed vultures moving out. Spider-Man's about to finish as well. And I think the Dragoon did see the move out here, so it's gonna be hard to get anything real big done. You can see the Dragoon's moving forward a little bit. There's a lot made, and this pylon wall gonna make it real hard to just run by. But they're moving around. They're looking at that 9 o'clock, thinking that might have been the 3rd, gonna mine that up and slow things down. But it was at the mineral base, so nothing getting too disrupted here from the Protoss.
Yeah, I feel like these 3rds with the mineral only on the high ground, this is like the most distinguishing feature of this map. Especially like in these positions, like this is a really good position for Protoss to hold pushes from Terran with the high ground here. So I can totally understand the choice to get the 3rd here.
Yeah. I think we are seeing something get set up though, because a couple Goliaths coming out, and if they can find an observer and shut that down, make sure the scouting info is not there, we see a lot of Dragoons moving forward, clearing out mines, pushing back the Terran player here. I don't know. Like, it's going to be a little bit hard. You see that siege mode is ready, and they're kind of spaced out here. But there's a lot of goons. Does he keep going forward and commit? There's no mines to slow down. High ground advantage going to make things a little bit harder, but he's really moving forward here. He wants to knock down his goon count. But the target...
Micro, nice micro taking out these tanks. They went way better for Protoss than I thought.
This miscount, come on,
yeah,
get it done. Jesus.
That's ridiculous. And I think the third command center is going to have to be canceled here. Really nice victory here for CRVT. Whip is going to be set back so hard from this. The tank count is kind of reset. Third base is shut down.
Yeah, even Observer seeing this, so he should know if he moves up to the top side. I think you can actually force it. Gets the cancel. So big win for a Protoss player right there. You see a Dragoon moving up to the 9 o'clock. It's gonna disarm that mine if it wants to, but still, resetting the tank count like that, getting the CC killed off. Things are looking good. We're seeing a whole bunch of factors getting added on behind this, and a starport as well. CC being made in the main, so not committed to just like, well, you stop my base, I gotta kill you now. But still, big win for Protoss here. They sit in a great spot with a great worker count as well. Jesus.
Yeah, CRVT is putting on a clinic on how to play this very standard looking PvT here. Yeah, we saw like a kind of a greedy opening from Whip, and CRVT handled it without really doing anything too wild, right? Just played the fundamentals.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Whip is gonna just kind of gear up though, because we see a second armory being made now, working on the starport, so that's gonna be for the science facility. I think maybe you plan for the 2-1, like because your economy got slowed down. Maybe you're just prepping up for some big thing. But I already see from CRVT, like he added on 2 forges. He's gonna really be able to work on these upgrades as well, and as he's starting to add on more core gateway units. If Vultures can get some damage done, that'd be nice, but really the situation, like everything's being covered from CRVT as he sets up that 4th base at the 9 o'clock.
Yeah, with this pylon wall and this gun on the ramp, this base is going to be fine, I think. Protoss is just looking really good. I think we don't have any... we're a little bit behind on the Arbiter tech, which could be a problem if we see a really strong push out of the Terran.
Well, I mean, he's getting some units. He's finding some of these vultures in the middle of the map, and he's adding the Temple Archives. Maybe this isn't a look for a rush to arbiters. Maybe this is more of a gateway, man.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you got the 4 base economy. You could definitely support if you want to slam down a bunch of gateways and just have this big bolstered army. That if your opponent is going for a push, like if you just have enough muscle, maybe you get your way through it. And we aren't seeing a whole lot of factors being added on. That 3rd base does get established at the mineral base. So we'll see how Whip wants to keep going from here. But you can see how forward these units are from CRVT. He's looking for an attack again. Refuses to just play passively. Gonna try to move in here. Has the Observer. Lots of mines.
The Zealots are gonna walk into all these mines, but is it enough?
I don't think so.
The Zealots are starting to get on top of these tanks. Ooh, a nice mine drag in there too. But the goons are getting mowed down. I don't know if there's gonna be enough Protoss left after this attack is done. Yeah, they do get repelled. Basically, the entire Protoss army gets wiped out. A good number of tanks were lost, but we still have, I think, 7 alive for Terran. So I think overall that was a good fight for Terran, right?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't lose all the tanks, you didn't lose the base. That's definitely important here. And we are seeing from CRVT a lot of gateways get added on. So yeah, gateway man, we're going in. Units on the field, so you should be able to replenish that with this economy that he's already got set up here. So we'll see. Like, I think if you keep trying to be aggressive, but when you're trying to break bases like this that are so well defended, that's where you just really want those arbiters. So as long as he gets it at some point, I'd be feeling comfortable. But it's still gonna be hard for Whip to move out if he wants to try to get anything done, as he's starting to add on more factories back at home. You know, maybe gearing up. But we'll see if he wants to take a 4th base or try to go for some kind of big push.
Yeah, like, oh, so there is a drop, but it's caught immediately by these goons, so absolutely 0 damage will be done here. And, like, I'm starting to think that this is, like, truly Gateway Man, like, we're not even going to see Templar. I think the Archives was just to, like, allow the better upgrades, not the Forges. Like, oh, here we go. So we do, right, immediately as I say that, we see 5 Templar.
Yeah, the moment you say it, man, it's CPL classic tradition. You have to wait 5 seconds before you say something.
You're right. But, like, so I know that there is this, like, speed shuttle Templar kind of strategy as an alternative to arbiters or carriers, but like we have no shuttles. and certainly no speed shuttles. So like, I feel like that's it's not going to be nearly as strong. I mean, like being able to get these speed shuttles in position to storm the tanks is such a huge part of that strategy. Like get these
Again,
slow walking
the
Templar.
moment you say it, though.
Oh my god, really? Again? All right, cool. All right, so yeah, now we're so what can I say that's the most ridiculous thing that can still happen? Be like, so he's definitely not going to throw down 3 Stargates and go into carriers, right?
I mean, yeah, I think that's not happening. This is too much investment in the game, so we can't just wish for like the wildest day. We're not playing on BGH, no infinite money here, so you'd have to make your choices. But yeah, speed shuttles are going to be the choice. Adding on so many gateways and so much production back at home as well in this 4-base economy, he's gonna find some of these mines, lose a couple games for free. If you can start like clearing out the map a little bit, because I think that's the big thing you're looking for at this point. It's just have the map be open so you can freely move your army around, get that good angle of an attack if Terran ever does decide to push out.
Yeah, we see some small skirmishes from map control here, trying to clear out these mines, try to free up future expansion locations for the Protoss. So Terran has this 4th command center, which is finally moving over to the base that is blocked with his pylon, but I feel like Terran's going to be able to get this up. So you have to go through such a narrow choke to attack this, and without arbiters, like we've been talking about, it's going to be really hard for Protoss to threaten space, I think.
Well, I mean, there was a CC started to be made at 3 o'clock, and a Nexus being taken up at the top left of the mineral base. Vulture's going to go and try to harass a little bit, but the goons are already in position, so that's not going to get canceled off just yet. Both sides just kind of gearing up here. But as CRVT nears hitting max, like, it's going to be a problem. Like, you're going to have to figure out what you're doing, because otherwise you're just buying time for Terran to keep their upgrades going, get more production, then take a much more even fight when you're lacking these spellcasters. Like,
wait. A storm drop at the mineral only of Terran. Big storms on the SCVs. Hey, there you go. Okay, so a bunch of workers do go down, but like I think the longer that this goes on, this is looking better and better for Whip. I guess this one base over here, this 5th base, is going to be shut down. But like, just being on 4 bases is absolutely gigantic for Terran. He has a huge tank count here. He's got a bunch of factories, decent upgrades, and like Protoss doesn't really have like a big game changer play, I think. And now that he's maxed out, CRVT is just going to be sitting here gaining money. He doesn't have a second main yet to start building more gateways in, which is kind of that linchpin of Protoss strategy, right?
Yeah, I am just a little bit concerned though, because Whip at this point, like, he's nearing that 3-2 upgrade count. He's going to be probably nearing max as he hits it. Some Vultures just buying time, gets thrown in the middle of the map. A lot of speed zealots here, so I think if you want to bomb in for some big attack, this is kind of your opportunity here as CRVT starts banking up the money. He's got that base up at the top left going, but he's not trying to take any more. A couple pros moving out of the map. I think his army moving up to the top right, wants to start taking those bases as well. But yeah, like you're saying, he's kind of at the peak right now, and he's buying time for Whip to get this army. It's going to be way harder to deal with. And you can see, like, this is a pretty well-balanced army. Positioning is the only thing, like, if you can find that opening, maybe you get something done here. But most of the army seems that it's at this base that we're going to see CRVT try to attack.
We have a big arc coming in here, but it's such a deep a defense from Whip. We do have Zealots on top of some tanks, but there's so many more. There's so many mines here in the back. I think that Whip is going to get way more value out of this defense. Yeah, here we go. CRVT just decides that he has to back up before he loses everything.
Yeah, and that was the best time you were going to make that attack. +3 up is just finished, but it wasn't ready for that attack, so that was only 2-2. That repelled that so easily here. And like, as CRVT, like, how do you feel when you do an attack like that and it just doesn't get the job done? That, like, those mines, that tank spread, like how it was layered back like this, feels so good. Now we are seeing more Nexus going down up at the top right and also at 12 o'clock, so you're gonna have plenty of money to work with if you want to just keep throwing units at your opponent. But this Terran army is max, is well upgraded, and it's moving forward.
There we go. We do have a speed shuttle full of Templars. I think. Oh, they all get annihilated by a tank falling. So much gas just goes up in smoke before any storms can be cast, and this is just Terran just kind of getting their dream scenario here, maxing out the big upgraded army. No carriers, no arbiters. They just get to roll over the Protoss. Like Whips isn't even sieging anymore. But we do finally get some very good storms though.
Yeah, those storms are doing big damage, and all the vultures are gone now. Zealots, if they can run in, they can start even things out. But there's just so much army from the Terran player, going to be able to reinforce with these speed vultures as well. This ground army, the Gateway Man style, loses its bulk of its force in a bad exchange. Going to lose the Nexus as well. Storm's doing as much as they possibly can. But without that second main, to have the extra gateways earlier and that second angle of approach for this attack, you can just see Whip's going to keep pushing forward here, and it's going to be really hard to actually stop this. I don't know how you balance your units right now to get the job done.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard, especially without like a second base of gateways to kind of get this built-in flank. The Terran push has definitely been whittled down now, but even if this gets repelled, I mean, Protoss is in a much worse position than they were just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, still, I'm seeing some good storms. Reinforcements are moving across the map now for
Big
Whip.
reinforcement whip.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty big here. And if you get control outside that natural and you have to walk down the ramp to engage this army, that's going to be a nightmare. So you got to hold this natural right now. You can't let this fall. But the siege is in range of everything. It's going to be hard to kind of move forward. The pylon wall going down as well. Templar moving forward, trying to storm, gets killed before anything gets off here. And there's just a lot of units, not enough. And CRVT taps out of game one.
Very nice game from Whip. And you mentioned it, but like his late game was very good. There were some rough spots in the early game, but Whip really kind of pulled ahead the longer the game went on.
Yeah, but like when we lost that third CC, like the choice is like I got at armories, we're going late, like I'm making sure this army's good. It ended up being the right call there because that 3-2 army, right as it gets maxed out, moving across, Gateway Man struggles to deal with that if you're not way ahead on bases, and 5 versus 4 wasn't enough of a head. We got the second game coming up on Polaris Rhapsody. Just waiting for my buddy to get in here so we can keep this party rolling.
So I can't think of any other PPTs I've seen on this map. I'm kind of interested to see how it goes. I know Overwatch was really good for Protoss.
I feel like the last time I've seen this, I've seen a sprinkling of carrier play, which would be really cool to see. But we got to talk about the introduction first. In the top left, in that teal Terran, it's Whip after looking so comfortable in that late game. We'll see how this one goes.
Right. And in the bottom right, once more in the red, it's CRVT as Protoss.
Yep. So I feel like I've seen carriers on this map, you know, with the bridges and all these high ground areas, being able to kind of maneuver around. If you can kind of find spots where it's abusable, but it's also, if you could just stake your ground and kind of cut some of the map off as Terran, like especially you get 4 bases across the top side here, I think it's going to be hard for Protoss to deal with it, especially if you know if CRVT is going to try to go Gateway again. I don't want to see Gateway Man on this map. It feels like a bad decision.
And the thing about carriers, like there are some bridges on this map, but there's also really big open field areas in the middle of the map. And like part of the reason that Overwatch is good for carriers is that there's like lots of narrow-ish paths. So I don't think carriers are going to be nearly as strong on this map as they are on Overwatch.
Yeah. I mean, definitely true. I'm just trying, like, again, it's been a while since we've seen Polaris Rhapsody in here, so I'm like, I remember seeing it, not really sure if I remember how effective it was. It's like, you kind of keep a mental note of all the carrier maps, because I'm a carrier boy. I like making carriers, they're fun.
Especially with that new micro thing, which is pretty cool.
Well, I don't know how to do that, so we're not gonna talk about that.
Apparently what you do is you just like group them with a probe, and then you hit stop and hold position. It makes the interceptors smarter about how they pick their targets.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, at least that's my understanding. I'm sure someone in chat will correct me. But so far in this game, everything looks very standard from both players. No greedy expansion from Whip this time. Very standard. We're getting this gas. We're probably gonna get 1 or 2 factory units first.
Yeah, I think the first thing that would be that little deviation, which again it was very little, was that the range timing that we saw in the first game. That was range before Dragoon, like totally conceding, not wanting to put any real pressure on. But Terran getting a gas instead of that Gaslight Expand, I feel like you could do the Gaslight Expand here. The distance is kind of long. Like you could probably set a bunker in a good spot.
Yeah.
So maybe just wants to get a little more aggression on. Maybe we're gonna see something with a 2-fac, some kind of push, or just a nice FD, nice and simple. Get your base up without any issues.
We're down to only one guy in gas, so it's gonna be something, probably just a normal factory expand build is my guess.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. I'm just trying to like suggest things like, ooh, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be wild? It was the range before the Goon again, so. Definitely the choice that we're seeing from this Protoss player. That's what they like to do. They also haven't scouted yet. On a 2-player map, I feel like maybe you get a little more knowledge, but if you just have a dedicated play and you're not going to sway away from him, you might as well just keep the guy at home mining. Factory is now on the way. A couple Marines being produced, and we'll see if it does end up being that early CC.
Here we go. The first Goon is out. Going to start crossing the map here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this might be a little bit harder to get the good value because there's not that bunker at the front you can just start forcing a repair on. But without any buildings here, maybe you can get the pressure here, the couple of Marines up at the front. You won't have range just yet, but, there could be an opportunity. As SCV does maneuver in a way, going to get back in and see that Nexus timing. So knowing there's not any crazy aggression right away from the Protoss player, always a comfort, even though it is expected.
Yeah, and that Protoss Nexus has been started for a little bit here, so both players going to get their base up at about the same time.
Yeah, as you can Goon trying to see what it can see. A couple Marines without a bunker, I feel like you could be trying to be a little more aggressive, but you could definitely lose the Goon here if you're not careful, so maybe just err on the side of caution. I'm not sure if did he poke forward far enough to actually see the CC though?
I think he did. I wasn't paying close attention. Yeah, he did.
Okay. Well, yeah, so you get the information you're looking for. A Robo up at the front wall, so going to be able to get that Observer. So we're not seeing any difference in the build choice from the Protoss player. Just Whip doing something else different instead. There's a lot of Marines being made. Here comes that first tank as well. There's not a lot of Goons up here that you can move forward. Definitely repel this pressure, but if you want to put it on pressure of your own, you can kind of punish this lack of a second gateway, this extra production. Choosing just to be up at home, be comfortable taking the CC instead. And I like what we're seeing from Whip.
Yeah, Whip playing it, a very standard. Knows that he's very strong in the late game. Doesn't have to pull anything too crazy off in the early game.
Yeah, well, always nice. Academy on the way, so scans will be available too. Adding on tanks behind this. I don't think we've seen an upgrade from the machine shop started just yet, so just getting the tank count up, in case there is some kind of pressure, you will have plenty of muscle to deal with it. But both players just going to get their expansion up without any issue. Observatory's done, so observers are on the way. 3 gateways as well. And here comes a Dragoon moving out on the map. Maybe if you just find something, that'd be nice, but there's just everyone sitting back at home. Gentleman's agreement to get into the mid game without any shenanigans.
Definitely. Looks like this probe is getting a position to build a quick third base again, which if it does go down, I think it'll be pretty safe.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be reasonable to do that. The faster you get it up, you should be sitting pretty comfortable. And I see a medic being made. Hold up. What's up?
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
Wait a second.
So I think we are, and we have these, I think we're going to see, we're going to see this push. I should have noticed this earlier. It's going to be like a CC fact push with, I guess, like one medic, just to make Rains better. It's just really funny, but like they're not even waiting for the medic.
I mean, it'll show up eventually. The observer is
gonna. The observer is gonna. It barely sees like one tank in the middle of the map. Okay, it's going to see the medic, but is CRVT gonna be looking at it at that moment? Like, what do you even do when you see one medic? Like,
well, I don't know what you do, but I like what we're seeing CRVT do. He's moving his goons in a position, not at the ramp. He's going to try to like the extra double clever move. He sees that everything was off to the right side. Big engagement happening.
Down these tanks, very nice.
Yeah, but
just lose 2 goons though.
Yeah, this medic is actually going to be a bit annoying for the Marines here against the goons. It's going to heal him just enough to take extra shots. This is actually pretty big. Mine's starting to go down. Only 1 tank goes down. A lot of these goons took some real damage back here. With that investment in the extra Nexus, we'll see if we can keep moving forward from Whip. This is definitely a fun build, but I think enough goons do pop out that defender advantage so strong. Unless these mines do something crazy, I don't know if he wants to keep pushing forward, but he's about to get Vulture speed and working on siege mode as well.
Yeah, I feel like CRVT has held this off.
Ooh, look at these vultures though. There's nothing blocking this, and you can just get in there.
No. Pain. Right as the pro's get transferred to. Oh my god, what a nightmare! And his mine's right on top of the ramp. Oh, they're gonna get all the way into the main. It's gonna take so long for any goons to get back in there because they're trying to chase down these tanks, which are trying to scoot away as fast as possible. Really nice. Oh, we do have 2 goons pop from the gateways, but they're like 3 stooges-ing over each other before they can get to these vultures.
Yeah, the vultures don't do as much damage as it could have been. This does start mining, but I think it was only 3 or 4 probe kills. That could have been way worse, actually. You know, some of these mines going out, and good disarm. Doesn't take too much damage from those mines. And these goons kept moving forward. Remember, they pushed back Whip's army up to the 12 o'clock base. There's a couple tanks here, but siege mode is done now. Observer's scouting out what this factory count's looking like, going up to 4. And we're going to see these goons keep pushing forward, disarming with the mines with the Observer. But siege mode's done. I don't know. Do you want to take this fight?
Let's fight back out of here. Oh, the tank volleys are starting to go off here. The vultures are blocking very well. These goons are really confused. Worst AI in the game, dude. Oh, they could be mind dragging maybe. Oh, they're gonna stack up again.
Oh man, so you're gonna be able to reset this count, but you're losing all the goons to do it. Actually, the repair's gonna go down. Will the SCV be able to kill the goon? Has to unsiege. Just do it.
Oh my god.
So both sides losing everything they possibly can. The one tank does survive. It does detect that there is a 3rd Terran base up and running, so it's 3v3. A little sadness there, as I would be saying exactly the same thing. And really. Love when players have a little bit of a good attitude, just talking. Remember, it is a game. It is fun
all the time. Yeah, the getting stuck. Also, I love that the one medic is still alive, just hanging out. I wonder how I wonder how long she's gonna stay alive. Like, is she gonna be there for the rest of the game?
I mean, hey, if you throw that and you make some more raids, maybe you research optic flare. You could start ruining some observers.
That's the strat.
Oh no, we're starting to sound like some nice and real Reddit advice. We don't want to be doing that. Oh man, the big strategies. But a lot of gateways going down behind this. I think we're getting gateway man again. And on this map, with the way you have to move around, it feels a little more difficult. I'm not sure if I really like the commitment, but 8 gateways being made with the 5 that are already completed. I think he's going to prove to us gateway man is the true style. That's why we're tasting so much, right?
Yeah, like CRVT does not want to deal with microing arbiters or carriers or anything like that. It just wants to 1A, 2A, 3A in rally gateways.
Oh, I like this move out though. Lots of vultures finding an angle that's not covered by a ton of goons. Trying to find some opportunity to get some damage done. If one of these bases is a little bit under defended, sacrifice some vultures to get a bunch of probe kills, slow things down. Seems pretty reasonable. And here comes that move towards that 3rd base. Vultures lay a couple mines over to the right. Here comes some tanks behind it though. There's just not a lot of forces here, and I think CRVT's got to be very careful how they engage this. Maybe even just give up the space.
Yeah, I don't you really don't want to be giving up your 4th base when Terran has 3. Here we go. Some zealots managed to sneak by, get on top of these zealots, or on top of the tanks. I think Press is going to clean this up, not without losses, but overall I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was definitely good. The flank from behind, some mines slowed things down, but nothing big got lost there, just a couple of Dragoons. So managed to clear out all these tanks that are moving forward, and unlike what we saw the last game, these upgrades that are for the Terran, they don't exist. It's 0-0, no armory producing anything, and this is 12 gateway zealot production, just control groups of throw men at you. It's going to be a lot harder to fight, because like last time it was getting to the late game, being able to survive long enough, have enough bases of economy. I don't think we're going to get to that point here. Whip seems pretty committed fighting as it is. He's finally started a +1 attack upgrade and working on a starport. But this Protoss army already moving up to the 12. A lot of force here. Let's see if we can defend it, because there's only a couple tanks here. Ooh, that might hit though.
There is a nice depot wall set up, just enough to really screw up the pathing. Some zealots are trying to get on top of the tanks. They get intercepted by vultures. There's some reinforcements trying to get here, but there's still just not a lot of Terran. That one medic is stealing an SCV. What a hero. And I think this base might actually be in danger, especially as we see more Protoss reinforcements. There's these zealots running across the map. They're going to run into some mines here. But I think there's enough of them to get through it and get on top of these remaining tanks.
I mean, this is just throwing money at the problem for Protoss, and while he's finally breaking through, that was not a super efficient trade. And considering it's still just 3 base, not taking another Nexus behind it, I feel like as these fights go, if Whip can hold on, but these Zealots still pushing forward. They're now in the main here, really pushing everything back. The SUVs trying to get pulled. They're going to try to fight these guys as well. The tank's about to pop out. Maybe this will be enough, but this is CRVT's really in go mode that he just wants to kind of keep moving forward here. And there might have been some harassment because I'm noticing the probe count got a lot lower. I just missed it on the minimap.
Yeah. Someone in chat just pointed that out. I'm kind of like, wait a minute. Maybe, maybe Artosis is right. Like, maybe Gateway Man is just too easy and Terra needs a buff.
Never. That's never true. These forces that are still forward, still finding opportunity, moving towards that 12 o'clock again. There's no real units here, just the one medic and some SCVs taking their work break. So should be able to kill some things off here. Vultures are going to come and reinforce, but not tanks. They're going to be pretty slow to join this fight. I think some decent damage goes through here, but still, both players not taking extra bases, not really thinking late game. Scans going down to see if there's more bases and confirms that there isn't, so maybe Webb feels comfortable after all, because this, I mean, damage has happened, but it didn't get out of hand, and he's actually up on supply now.
Yeah, it's a very scrappy game, but I feel like Protoss, even with getting these good trades, being stuck 3 bases to 3, I mean, that's obviously good for the Terran in the long run. But, now I think about it, I think the real story of this game is this one medic. She's been doing so much work in this mineral line, keeping so many SCVs alive. That's the new meta, dude.
Oh, please, no. I do not make SCVs harder to kill. They got enough health. Some units being pulled over to the left side. CRVT moves in position, try to deflect that. Doesn't want any more pressure on that third base of theirs. But you can see Vultures just all over the map. Whip trying to be real fancy, like just moving a lot of ways. If they can get some mines, if they can just get some kind of big damage done, that'd be a good opportunity. But back at home, they're still building up. Second armory being completed here. +1 weapons done. And 3 Vultures managed to sneak into the main again. How does this keep happening?
Wow. Oh my god, here they go again. There's a little tower defense maze back here. This time they're going to get way more probes. The main is getting close to being mined out, but still losing probes, especially when you're this low on probes already, is always painful.
And we're seeing just more of this like aggression constantly. And SCV does move up to the top right, so maybe that 4th base finally will be taken, but first by the Terran instead of the Protoss. That's not what you see every day. Just constant little groups of Vultures forcing CRVT to be back and very careful with the RE positioning. They run around the right side and go to the base, the mineral base at the 3rd, just suiciding for probes, just going to keep resetting the economy the best they can. His army's starting to build up a little bit for CRVT, but he cannot get on the map to put any pressure on.
Yeah, and like, there's barely any thought towards getting a 4th base. And so I feel like without that, this is just going to get worse and worse for the Protoss. Okay, there was a probe in the bottom left that, of course, right on time gets shut down by a Vulture. But I feel like Whip has kind of weathered the storm, and from now on, he's just going to be way ahead in this game. Like, he's going to have more bases, he's got more upgrades, he's got a ton of factories. Like, this is going to look really, really good for our Terran player again.
Oh, look,
here we go, more Vultures, killing more probes.
Yeah, another raid, that 3rd base, gonna shut down mining, more probe kills happening. And this is just like, it's not tanks moving forward, it's not a committed attack, just sending out little groups here. And I did see one Zealot try to get sent up to the top right to slow down the CC, since the observer's just watching it, but it ran across the mine and died, so didn't get to disrupt that, unfortunately. So, trying to be cute with a little move there. The CC might be able to complete. Here comes a little group of army, though, maybe gonna move forward and try to shut that down, but still. So, like, Whip just looking pretty comfortable. That worker lead keeps growing. He's building up the army back at home, and he's going to be on +2, +1 reasonably soon, with CRVT not having the economy or tech to really fight that straight up.
Yeah, it's going to be really rough here. Protoss is trying to split off this little group of units to deny the top right, which I might actually get it, honestly. Like, there's no tanks anywhere nearby. Now they're splitting up right as they get there.
I mean, Goons are just dumb like that. It could easily happen, so it does force a lift almost immediately, but look at this army. Whip's got plenty of tanks. They're moving on over.
Yeah. The Observer does catch it, but there's not really anything CRT can do about it. There's just a handful of goons. But all of this has bought time for the Nexus to start going up in the bottom left, which is really what CRT needs to do to continue to stay in this game.
I mean, realistically, he needs to not die here. If Whip just wants to keep pushing forward, he has a giant supply lead, all things considered. These and that 2-1 is about to finish up here. It does slow down that CC, but the units get cleaned up eventually, so it's not burning down. Should be able to keep pushing forward, and Whip's not turning around, getting back in that defensive position. He's muscling his way through, and he's at the natural already.
Yeah, I don't know what CRT can do about this, really, unless he's, let's, get right on top of these tanks as soon as I say that. There we go. The Vultures do finally body block. Only a couple of these tanks are sieged. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Maybe Protoss will win this fight.
Hard to tell. I think maybe there was enough units there. Things got through. Another Vulture raid, though, down at that third base. But there are a couple cannons here to help out, but still more workers getting killed. The unit count is just not enough. Whip manages to take it out. Wins another game, just sending stuff at the Gateway Man. So, everyone can stop complaining about Gateway Man, right? It's just not good.
There you go. Artosis proved wrong once and for all. Please blood red us.
Yeah, no, they're terrible. You know what? Like, we definitely need just a little bit. That's what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
You guys, we've been having such a great time casting all these games. We got one more set heading your way, and I know you've been wanting that ZVT. It's coming right up. But just, one more time, gotta plug a little bit. Tomorrow is the team reveal stream for CPL 7. Hang out with me and Strom Carlin, Snipe, and Age as we do it every season. Talk about maybe the map pool, maybe the teams, maybe the coaches, and just kind of shoot the breeze, have a good time, and, relax on this weekend moving up. That's going to be tomorrow at noon. There's going to be more events in the future, so... sorry, the chat got distracted. I'm getting yelled at by people. I'm doing my best here. But we got more events heading up. We're in the break between the regular seasons, so make sure you're active on the Discord, and you will be getting ready for CPL 7 soon yourself. We love that you guys are here with us, and hope you're here tomorrow as well. Let's get into that last set we got here. Striker and Bedino. I know everyone wants to watch these guys. Striker, S-rank Zerg player. He's in NOS and apparently on the uprise. Snipe selling him that he's been really kicking some ass recently. He plays in the BSL. He was a captain for the Turf Wars, and they won one of the seasons of those. He's also participated in the Rogue City Rumble, something that Strom Carlin helps run, so more communities things. Bedino from Norway, though, S-rank Terran, member IRK, and he's coached before. He's been helping out the scene. He's definitely a strong player as well. So we got one more match. Should be an exciting one to watch, and we'll see what you guys thought about that. As far as the poll go, mostly even between everybody. No one's really an underdog here. Some of you guys just, I think, voting for your favorite players at this point. But you know what? Really, we just got to watch the game and see how it rolls out. Let's get into our final set of the day.
Let's do it.
Okay. Open it up. Cool. In the bottom right, in the dark blue, it's Bedino, the Terran player.
And in the top left, in the bronze there, it's Striker.
So, I don't know if this is typical for Striker, but I feel like the times I get to watch him play, I've watched a couple games, he's big on Muta. Real big on Muta. So I hope that is if I just caught a couple exceptions. But I love watching a lot of Muta play from a Zerg player. So much opportunity in this matchup to cause a little chaos, and that always makes for a fun time.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it is definitely the standard to go for Muta. A lot of time in CPL we see 2-hatch Lurker and 3-hatch Lurker though. So I'm always looking out for that.
Yeah, I think Lurkers, they definitely have some potency to them. There's some builds I think they do better against. But I think that's something you see a lot more in CPL because it is a lot less finesse on your micro. If you're kind of just looking for something with some muscle to it that can deal with some of the Terran options, and maybe your Muta control is not as good as you would like it to be, maybe the connection's not as good as you'd like it to be as well. Lurkers are a little more straightforward. But it's kind of like in the ZVP, where it's at higher end, you see a lot more game expand than Forge. I think we're going to see the same thing here. I think you see a lot more Muta because the players can handle playing with them and still doing all the things they need to do.
What do you think about this wall coming out at the natural of Terran here? Do you think we're gonna see like a Goliath build or something? I know I say that a lot, and it's almost never Goliath build, but I think of that whenever we see a wall at the natural.
Well, all I know is that we've seen this a couple times in some of the CPL games, and the blind mentions that this makes for a link tight wall. So if you're worried about some kind of pressure like that, maybe that's the move you're going for. But yeah, usually walling off that tends to be like, I want to get some tech rolling. So we'll see what the choice ends up being. We'll be able to tell quite quickly by the gas timing what ends up happening. It is a hatchery first with the pool right behind it and gas on the way as well for Striker. So nothing too unusual here. I think it's going to be more of that 2-hatch play, but we'll have to see how things actually go.
Looking here, it looks like that SCV is kind of stopped up on the ramp. Like it saw the drone. Is it like trying? Oh, is it trying to block the drone from getting there? So like he might trick the Striker into thinking that Terran's base is up there.
I mean, that's really clever, because even if you don't think that's the case, like you still bought time for that wall to complete, start working on some marines and stuff. This is actually super hilarious to watch little things like this. Very big raid play here from Matinho to just be a complete jerk about this drone, and it's going back home. It's giving up. Oh, he might have sold it.
No, Striker's gonna think it's Terran's up the top right the entire game.
Oh,
it's gonna be
no.
like, what if we see like you just fly in there? And it's like, wait, what? Oh my god, that's amazing. And like, in the meantime, like Terran has got this command center up behind what I believe is the link tight wall. You don't really know for sure ever because links can get through just about anything.
Well, no, this I think is the Blimes. He's mentioned that like this weird wall, because I remember asking about it. He said like, I think this setup is link tight. I'm not sure about this base. I know I think on the bottom left you do it like this and it ends up being, so hopefully the same thing. This SCV scout does manage to get in, confirm the lair, confirm it is 2-hatch play, and we'll see if he stays live long enough. I like the creep colony up at the front though. Wants to get that sunken in case it was factory kind of play. You want to make sure that vulture doesn't get in and start causing a lot of chaos, which, I mean, we're not seeing a rush towards that, a factory being started, but it's not going to be a super fast vulture. Should be able to have it sunken up well in time to defend.
So Striker sent this one link to scout the top right and is now going to discover that Terran is not here.
I mean, that's good to at least double check it and be sure. So, you know, shenanigans did happen, and now it's Lake's got to start scouting again. You feel a little bit silly for that to happen in a match, but you know, no harm done. It's not like he missed any big critical timings. Spire on the way. This SCV still alive, so if he gets down, he should be able to scout the timing.
It's Goliath build. There's 2 factories. I called it. I'm a genius.
You are a genius. Absolutely. So definitely going to be some kind of potent play. These units so good against mutas if you can get the numbers up. But I've seen so many Zergs, they just keep building them, they keep upgrading the mutas, and eventually you just overrun it if you get a decent engage. 3rd hatchery up at the front as well. And, you know, like, I think you get the idea of what's going on. This Goliath build should feel comfortable as their armory is on the way. At least this SPV is still alive, getting plenty of scouting information as the second gas goes down at the natural as well for both players. Who's going to get forward? Definitely sees the Spire now. He moves that far. Alright, eBay on the way, so definitely going to be able to have turrets in time to deal with these mutas, because originally you're just not going to have that Goliath account that you need to deal with this right off the bat.
Yeah. Takes a little bit too long, and like you kind of want these turrets anyway, just so they don't get picked off.
That's just the thing I'm looking for though. Spire just completes with C6 mutas on the way, so they're going to be able to do as much as they're going to get a chance to. But is the upgrades? Is it committed to mutas, or is it just 6 and then you kind of go about your way here? You're going to be able to get in and scout what's going on. So unfortunately, with the wall still playing a little bit in the dark, won't be able to know. More mutas being added behind it, so definitely at least some investment in this right now. But the Goliath production has started. Turrets are on the way as well. And we'll see if this is going to be enough. There's a second armory behind this as well. So that's cool. Going to be actually getting some nice upgrades. He's going to be a pretty robust army, I think.
Yeah, we do this first mutas getting across the map. Oh, and a Vulture here just to slow down the 3rd. Playing this like a TVP. But, of course, drones, unlike probes, take 3 Vulture hits to kill. So, you know, they get to live long enough to be saved there. That is going to let Terran know the position and count of the mutas.
Yeah, I mean, it was only 6 that killed it. A couple more got made afterwards, and now it's drones and hatcheries behind this. So this is all the investment you're seeing. Medino's gonna have those double armory upgrades, but here comes that first group of mutas waiting for all 8 to get here. If they want to go in and get something done, we'll see what they can manage. There's a decent turret count, but nothing too crazy here. I think you kind of bust through. We're gonna see if he, as he goes in, going right for the bottom corner. There's no turrets down here. Kind of flying around, sees the Goliath count. Not sure how much he wants to mess with it. He's gonna find, if he can find a window where he can get a lot of harassment done without taking too much damage. He's just gotta make sure he doesn't lose these mutas doing it.
Yeah, this kind of seems like especially fragile here from Medino. Like I don't know if he like made too many vultures or what, but it just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot here on the board. And these mutas are able, you know, they take some damage, but they get a decent amount of SCV kills in the process.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good move, though. And got the full scouting information, so if he was paying attention to that, he did notice that it was double armory upgrades, which I feel like you don't see that super often. It's usually one or the other, and then kind of a choice of which upgrade you end up getting. So seeing the double armory is going to be one with Goliath quite quickly here. He is adding on more mutas after going in for the attack. So we'll see if this is going to be enough. So Vulture's going to just try to lay down mines, get a little bit of vision. But honestly, Medino, like, if he can survive, keep surviving, get some more factories going, get some production up and really into gear, it might be hard for Striker to be able to defend this. This attack might be a little bit stronger than he's expecting.
Yeah, we are starting to get more factories, but we're also seeing range attack being upgraded and the Hydra Den being thrown down. So it's not going to be relying on just mutas here for Striker. We're going to mix in some Hydras.
Yeah, well, we're up to 11 mutas. They're going to be poking back in. That Goliath count's starting to accumulate here. But the upgrades haven't finished yet. This would be your opportunity. One Vulture manages to get to the 12 o'clock, but a couple mutas pop out just in time. It's not going to start wreaking too much havoc here. But still, you see the base is up and running. You see the Hydra Den as well, although you should be able to assume that's going to be on the way. And a science facility back at home as more factories get added on. Really going to be churning out these upgrades and going to be able to start working on some irradiates. So it's going to be pretty strong from Medino. Because I feel like this muta pressure, while Terran's not on the map, it hasn't really done a lot of damage or anything. Just kind of building up a decent army as a fourth base for Zerg gets taken as well.
Yeah. After that kind of first attack from the mutas, it's been a very passive game. I say that right as one muta flies in the Goliath for some reason. Oh yeah, and with this fourth base of Zerg, that's going to start to get scary. I mean, it's not a gas base for Zerg, so it's not going to help them with like all that hive tech. But I don't have like I think you probably just want to get lots of Hydras out in time for the push, right? And then you worry about hive.
I think you might be trying to approach something like that. I mean, you have a decent amount of money, so I think you're feeling pretty reasonable here. These Vultures keep trying to move out, mine up what they can, be a little bit annoying. But you see a Radiate on the way, can start working on that vessel production. And that 1-1 did finish, immediately rolling into 2-2. So, I don't know, whenever Medina feels comfortable to move out, this might be a pretty decent force. The Vulture up here might be able to get the idea that that base is there. And Vulture also moving to the top right. So, just trying to get as much info as he can. These Vulture, or these mutas keep flying around. They're looking for something they can do. But, I don't know, the anti are starting to get a little out of hand.
It looks like Medino is thinking about moving out now. The Goliaths are leaving the base. I think those upgrades are, yeah, the upgrades are starting to get close being done. So that's only 2-2. Okay, so we do have 1-1 done. And that one armor makes a huge difference versus the mutas and all their bouncing attack. We have no attack upgrade or armor upgrades on the mutas, so that's gonna be pretty good for the Goliaths.
Yeah, and there is that vessel, and it does have the energy for that first irradiate by the time they actually get to this fight. The Hydras are nowhere near as mutas. If you move up just a little bit with Terran here, or the mutas can come to you, that's also good. Immediately turning around, doesn't want to take all this free damage here. We'll see if this ends up being enough. So, we're going to at least get an Overlord kill, but Medino is moving out on the map. This could be just an attempt to secure base, or really move forward and push. As the CC gets started, I think he just wants to get that third base up and running.
Yeah, this is really different from the Goliath builds that we saw before. I used to see like you just rush for the armor upgrade and move out with like 12 to 16 Goliaths and try to do a bunch of damage with that 2-base push. But
ooh, look at this attack.
It's surprisingly very passive getting this third base. But here we go, big Zerg attack coming, and we don't have any tanks to help deal with these Hydras.
Yeah, but there's a lot of moves moving forward. They're driving in. They're not that clumped together. So all the missiles you see firing through, but all these Hydras behind this is going to be a big attack from the Zerg. These Goliaths getting melted, and Striker finding a great engagement here, slowing down that third base. That's going to have to get canceled here. He can keep moving forward, but he did so much damage with that attack. The Queen's Nest just finishes. Can start working on Hive behind this if they want to. And man, this just looks great. Actually working on Spawn Broodling for the Queens, getting ready to fight the mech fight.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like Striker's going to stop. It seems like it's just going to barrel on through the natural, maybe even go up this ramp, kind of checkmate the Terran by camping these factories. The SCVs are going to try to stop that. They're being pulled to fight, and Hydras are notoriously bad versus SCVs. But they can't just focus down the command center, which is really rough for Terran.
Oh, this attack reset that Goliath count so big. It killed 2 bases. You're killing so many workers here. Everything looking so good right now. 4 Queens in production as well. So even if like you can't kind of end what you're doing here, you did so much damage. You have a great late game plan, and you're already on that 4 bases. Maybe you can start working on getting a 5th one as well, as Medina is going to have to scramble to get a force back together before they can try to go back on the map.
Yeah, I mean, Terran is a lot more efficient than Zerg, but I don't know if how much of a chance you have with 1 base versus 4.
I mean, Zerg being ahead on supply already a bad sign, right?
Yeah.
And looking like these Hydras going to clear out the mine that was at that left base. So here comes that drone. There's going to be that 5th base. So Striker not overreaching, not trying to force the issue here. And with more Queens being made, this is like a real, like once the energy goes up for these Spawn Broodlings, so you can reset whatever tank count is, this Hydra-based army is going to be so potent here. I really like the way we're playing here. Even Queen energy being researched, like this is going to be a big commitment for anti-mech play.
Yeah, Striker's really just crossing off every way that he could lose this game at this point, getting all this tech, getting all these units, going to 5 bases. You know, he's got vision all over the map looking for hidden bases. This is how you play when you're ahead.
Yeah, this Overlord placement is just ridiculous how much he's seeing. It's so hard to clear any of this out too. A couple Vultures going to try to move out here, but I think like there's nothing to lose at the 9 o'clock base, and there's Hydras like pretty much everywhere else. So some mines are going down, but these Overlords know what's going on. It's not going to be more than he can handle, and he's just going to keep building up here. At least the upgrades for Medina are pretty good. He's got that base at the expansion, and here comes the dropship, but there's nothing in it. Shenanigans. What is this?
Games.
I mean, hopefully picking up the Vultures that were on the map and going to try to do something with them, but with all this vision, how do you ever get a drop to actually work?
Well, here we go. It does pick up these Vultures that were on the map, but I just don't think there's that much potential in this one drop to turn the game around.
Yeah, and look, all these Queens are gonna get spotted. That's big knowledge to know. Like this,
way like Spawn Broodling the Vulture is just something.
They're nowhere near the energy for that, dude.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right. It takes like 2 years to charge that up. So they are gonna force drones out of the main. Some Hydras are right nearby. So it does even up the drone count, but Striker can like double his drone count whenever he wants with all of these hatcheries.
Yeah, now, well, just curious though, you see all these Queens building up. When do you start researching EMP Shockwave? When do you start like making more vessels? It's like, I need to not let this happen. But it's going to be so hard to do, especially with all this advanced vision. You should be able to clone everything out. There's the EMP being researched. But I just saw so many drones get made behind this. Striker up on workers compared to the Terran after all the damage. Here comes the attempted move out. It's 2-2 with the +3 weapons about to finish. We'll see if he can move out and get something done here, but I don't know. Striker's army is still up 30 supply. Like if he gets a halfway decent engage, especially with some of these Queens, does any of them have the energy they need yet? Yeah, a couple. There's a couple. There's a couple ready. There's a couple ready.
I mean, I think Striker just has to be in a good position here, right? Like if Terran wins from one base,
no.
We got nerf Terran. Here we go. Ooh, some nice cloning. All over the place. Even mind dragging a little bit. Oh my god, every tank is just deleted from the game.
Oh, that is the worst thing that could happen right there. I like Medina. He tried to be decisive, move up there. Yeah. He saw the Queens. It was just too much. And man, Striker gonna take a very stylish game 1 after doing so much damage with that early push.
Gonna be a, a bunch of channel points changing hands with that one because 75% of people voted for Terran.
Oh man, you didn't believe in Striker. Mistake number one.
Exactly.
That was a fun game though. I love watching Spawn Broodlings. Queens is one of those years like you feel like you'd see it more. It feels like it's real good, right? And then,
Yeah.
so every time, man, get it done. Like easy win right there. We're going into game 2. We'll see if Medina can tie this one up, or if Striker's just going to show them exactly how this is done. But this is the last game we got for today. Hopefully you're all having a good time. In the top left, in the magenta Terran, it's Medina.
In the bottom right is the blue surrogate striker.
All right, different map, but I feel like if you like doing the Goliath build, I don't see why you wouldn't do it here, right? Like it feels like you should be in a good spot to do it here.
When it was more popular, it was kind of like Gateway first versus Orange first. Like players kind of just picked one and went with it all the time. But like I don't think I like the variant of the Goliath build that we saw last time. Like when it was popular, we saw it like relatively quick 2-base pushes. It seemed like Medina just gave Striker way too much time to build up and get exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe you were thinking, oh, I get the +1/+1, the double armory. My army's going to be a little bit stronger, but it's just that attack all those Hydras made at the perfect time, and they've really just got out of control from there. But, we'll see how this game ends up going. If we're going to see the same kind of style from both the players, there is that depot up at the front, so maybe another wall off. Maybe we're going to see it again.
Yeah. I really wish we had Neblime here just to tell us if the wall worked or not, because I have no idea. Like,
nope.
I barely understand Protoss walls. I do not understand Terran walls at all.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I am exactly the same way. I just know, like, I ask Neblime enough, he'll teach me. But I mean, considering what the placement we're getting for the buildings, I think it's going to be some kind of wall off. So I'm expecting a very similar kind of build here. Which, I mean, Striker just showed a great game against it, and it's not like it was a fluke win where it's like, oh, everything's completely out of position. So if Striker smells this out again, like, you feel like you're in a pretty good spot, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Striker's going to feel very confident after that game. Just really won on the fundamentals, I think.
Yeah, well,
and if your opponents go for the same game plan, like, so the command center was much faster in the last one. Like the command center was before the gas, and we do have gas here for the Terran, so it is going to be some kind of different build.
Yeah, definitely some kind of variation. Maybe what we were talking about, it's like you feel like, oh, they get one upgrade and then they just slam out as soon as they can. Or there's still the possibility this could just be 1-1-1. Always still fun. It's Drone trying to harass the best they can, but sees the completed wall off, isn't going to be able to kill that SCV trying to build a depot. And there's a spawn pool on the way. Medina's got a scout in there. He's just attacking this extractor. He's being annoying.
So obnoxious, because like it's never going to kill the gas, but it's still... It just gets on your nerves being there.
Alright, well, first factory goes down. The guy's still mining gas at full force, so I don't know, man. We might be seeing something a little more aggressive this time. I would love to see a 1-1-1. That stuff is so fun to watch, but very fragile, so I can see why players aren't super practiced on it. They don't want to do it. Here is that 2-hatch lair play again, though. SCV scouting all the info, but Striker didn't care last game either, and with the way that game went, I don't see why you'd really want to switch things up. We'll see as this factory completes if there's any kind of deviation from the Terran player. Yeah, he's not even really making any more Marines at this point. I think you're setting up for a CC and just kind of sitting comfortable.
Yeah, I think maybe this was like a ploy, like make the natural look the same as it was in the first game, but do a completely different build. And we still have 3 guys in gas, so yeah, here we go. It is the starport. We are going to have some kind of 1-1-1, and it's been forever. Like I'm not sure that I've ever casted a game with a 1-1-1. It's been a while since I have watched one, so I'm really hyped to see how this goes.
Yeah, it's definitely been a hot minute since we've seen it. Now, that creep colony's still going to be well on time to stop down the Vulture, but if you do the 1-1-1, you get that first raid, you can still get on the map, and there's definitely some Overlords here, especially Striker was pretty far forward trying to get the vision. One Vulture does sneak out, it's going to see what it can get done here. But I don't know, man. This is definitely an opportunity. Medina can find some angles, get some damage done. But, I mean, that Spire's already on the way. Striker is playing the style they're comfortable with. We'll see if this does enough. Ooh, Burrow being
like,
researched too.
oh,
Fun.
bro, very nice. That's gonna be really good versus Wraiths, right? Like in this, like even if somehow we get a bunch of Wraiths with air superiority, like the Dreads just burrow until Scourge spawn or whatever, right? That seems like a smart play to me.
Yeah, I don't think Wraiths ever get air superiority against the
Yeah,
Zerg with the
yeah.
Spire,
Like, and,
but
like even if that, like the Spire is like gonna be done soon, the Wraith might get like 1 or 2 Overlords. I feel like it's not really gonna have a huge window of time.
well, I mean, the Overlords this early in the game definitely make a big difference. Especially you see they're starting to crouch in. They want to get that scouting info, and they actually still no vision about that CC or lack thereof. So I'd love that Overlord to move down here. But here comes that first
I mean,
Wraith straight
yeah.
across the map.
So now the Overlord is turning around, but like you can like look at the minerals and see that nothing is mining there. So I think Striker definitely knows that it's still one base. That's why we're seeing this like this SimCity wall at the natural just to keep anything out.
God, Medina's looking for this Overlord, just can't find it.
Oh
Unlucky.
no.
And I think the Vulture might have an idea about the one, but man, this Wraith is just not getting the damage you'd want to see done. Mutas are now on the way, didn't get to supply block the opponent at all. And that Overlord did move in, confirms the lack of a CC, knows it's 1-1, and Irradiate's nearing completion already for Medina.
Yeah, it's a super fast vessel, and like I kind of wonder if that is actually what the burrow is for, because burrow counter is eraser, right?
Right, but you need a couple vessels, because remember, you can't just cast it itself, so we'll see. We'll see if that ends up being the move.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to me because like I know that 1-1-1 is like really about. It's not really like a mech build. It's really about getting to those vessels quickly. But like, this is just really weird because there's barely any bio. We still don't have a natural command center, and like even if you get Irradiate, like you're not being able to kill every Zerg unit with it, right? Like you're gonna have 2 vessels, they're gonna cast 2 Irradiates, and then that'll be it.
Yeah, I mean, if it is heavy muta play, they are clumped up, there's definitely an opportunity. And we are seeing Striker get invested, this time actually getting the +1 air weapons. He's still building things. He's working on Scourge as well as he's drawing up, so you can see Medino just couldn't get on the map. The Vultures didn't do much. The Wraiths didn't find significant anything. He's actually hanging out back at home now. And you can see some anti-airs trying to go up here, but I think Striker builds up a decent force. Like, you might be able to go out, attack, and really get some damage done. We'll see if the vessels and the radius are going to be enough, but I don't know. I'm concerned, especially if there's a drone at 3 o'clock taking another base that has gas at it. Ooh, definitely going to be hard to punish that.
Yeah, like last game, I felt like I understood a bit more what went wrong, but like I don't really know what went wrong with this build, but it definitely does not feel good for Terran. It feels like we've done no damage to Zerg at all, and like we've been talking about, we do have these faster vessels, but do we really have the ability to capitalize on it? Is it worth everything that we sacrifice for that?
I like these Scourge. They got split up. They're looking for the Wraith because the one Scourge will kill it. So he's definitely trying to find something here. Ooh, it almost found it. Will it be able to get in there? Oh, no, turrets are just enough to stop it. And we are seeing the transition from Medino. He's working on the bio upgrades and mine, so like not going to be committed to like any kind of crazy heavy airplay. But you see the mutas are now on the map. They're moving across. That +1 air weapons, that got canceled? That got canceled. So Striker's seeing something he doesn't like. He wants to adjust. A rush towards the Queen's Nest and the Hydra Den. A lot of drones behind it as well. But here's 8 mutas here. Can they get in here and get some damage done? It sees a very suspicious lack of units. Just not that much here.
Irradiate.
Ooh, yeah, that.
Striker does a pretty decent job at splitting. Oh, but they almost pre-clump. So actually, a decent amount of damage done to all of these mutas, but there's only so much mana to go around. Like how long can you keep doing that?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be hard. You can drain those out, and I don't know. We'll see. That hive is now on the way. Lurker aspect being researched as well. So maybe try to like really overload. It's like, what are you gonna do with these vessels if I just have enough stuff at you? Might be enough. But that third base did get up without any issue. Like a big drone transfer actually managed to sneak across the map too. No vultures could find that one. So, I know, like, Striker's looking pretty comfortable what they are. They're actually sending in an Overlord. I think they want to see what's going on if they can get some kind of scouting info. But not leading any more to these mutas at this point. Going to be building up a decent ground army instead.
Yeah, I mean, once vessels are out, like, the mutas are just obviously, there's no reason to keep investing more money into them.
Yeah, I mean, unless you manage to kill them all, then it's like, oh no,
Sure,
you
sure,
just.
sure.
I mean, yeah, that's the beauty of Zerg, man. You just got those larvae. You can do whatever you want in like one fell swoop if you think you have the opportunity. These vultures are looking for this other base, but that third, taking it at the 3 o'clock, maybe throwing Medina for a loop because he's looking around for it. He should know it's there, but
Yeah.
unfortunately couldn't get there to try to punish this at all. Before there's a lot of scout and look at that striker vision taking over the map again. Very diligent about that.
I think it's like I feel like this third should be the normal third to get, right? Like the third base for Zerg is all about like you put like 2 lurkers at the choke and keep it alive, and this choke is really natural here, or really narrow, especially when you put a hatchery in there. Like I feel like this should be the first place that you check
It's just
for a
so
third.
far by ground to like actually
Yeah,
reinforce units to it. How did you scan to kill one burrowed Ling? That's actually kind of hilarious. So like,
Yeah,
seeing
like
that
is
kind
that even worth it?
yeah, I'm not particularly sure. We're seeing the science vessel float out a little bit, trying to get some extra vision. And hey, Striker is going back to that style. Lots of queens being made, gonna start building up that energy. But I don't know how heavy like they're gonna be useful here, because remember, bio upgrades were starting to get made. A lot of
Well,
factories being
but
added on.
yeah, we're going to 4 factories in one barracks, so I don't know what is going on with this build. But I guess the queens are going to be the right choice if we see a bunch of tanks, right?
Yeah, I guess if you go that way, there's decent tank production happening. Maybe that will end up being the move. And I mean, queens in general, they would be pretty good because even if it ended up being bio, you still have ensnare. You could trap these vessels as well. I think you could
Yeah,
be. Queens might be like the primo unit for playing against this kind of style. Yeah, Spawn Broodling now on the way with all these queens starting to build up energy and Hydra production with the upgrades being researched as well.
yeah. So I take it from us, we're 2 Protoss players. Zerg, just make queens every time, all right? It's
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, the new best unit. Just make queens. It's good.
I mean, Zerg's got all the hot spellcasters, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Wraith's gonna go back on the map, see if we can find some overlords, and does see one immediately turns around, but there's the decent still Muta's on the map, gonna be able to sway things. Vulture does find this next base from the Zerg down in the bottom left corner, trying to get that gas income up the best they can. Ooh, and a radio goes down. That's hitting all these Mutas. Doesn't see it. Oh no. Not pulling things away. Finally gets them apart, but still a lot of damage just got taken there. Second irradiate. These vessels are out for blood. These Mutas take so much damage off that.
3 mutas go down to that last irradiate there. Nice value there. Pretty much the mutas have been removed from the game now.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, you don't need them anymore. We saw that last
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Once they got killed off, he didn't care. Like, the Queens were the answer at this point. It is a lot of tanks being made behind this. No bio being made at all at this point. Just kind of going full mech here. So Queens could easily be the choice. I wonder if Medina's trying to scan around and see if he can find them. Because if you can find them, get that EMP, that'd be good. I don't know if right now he doesn't really know they're actually being made.
Yeah, Striker's been like very careful with trying to keep him in this little corner of the map, trying to keep him being scattered. Of course, there is a mine here, which actually cannot see that queen, so maybe it's not quite been revealed yet. But this is really scary. I think there's like more queens than there are tanks, and we saw last game how good Striker is at cloning them.
I mean, we're seeing CC's on the way, so I think Medina gonna try to get out on the map. And you can see a big move here towards that 3 o'clock base. At least like you got that hatchery that's gonna really kind of block things off, slow things down here. And if you're in vision while you're trying to push through this, that's an easy opportunity for all these cloning. But the queens haven't been on the map forever. There's energy for some, but not like on all of them. A couple vessels are here as well, being very spread out with these tanks as he's being careful.
Oh my god! Look at that. Disgusting. Just deleted over half the tanks. It's a D matrix with this one in the back, but I don't think it really matters anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be able to clean this up. So many tanks go down there trying to attack. They don't do any damage to the base either. And Striker's now a 40 supply with a unit that recharges energy, just gets value over time. Still so many Hydras, a couple Vultures, trying to get some opportunity to get something. But, man, that was a lot of damage just taken here. The Vessel's going to get caught out in the middle of the map, too. Striker just, in all the places he needs to be, taking these great fights.
Really well done here. So, if you cast Spawn Broodling and then like the target units go out of vision, do the queens just stop, or will they continue and go do it?
I believe you have to maintain vision, but I do not quote me on that. I believe they have to maintain vision. CC that went over to that 9 o'clock gets lifted, knows he can't take that base as the Overlord sees it immediately. His Hydra's going to keep moving up. There's an attempted CC at the 12, so we'll see if Medina can establish another base, but I mean, Striker's still building up all that Queen energy and adding in a lot of Hydras. Here comes the next wave of the Queens moving forward. What can they get? There's a couple tanks here. That'd be pretty free, but wants to be very careful. EMP Shockwave just getting started, though, so that's not available to deny this Queen pressure.
It's raining on the 4 Queen, though. It gets split off. It's going to go a YOLO in here for a Broodling. Gets it.
Sure.
Which is already, that's already a better trade, so even if you lose the Queen, killing a tank is more money. Oh, here you go. More Broodlings back here.
This is brutal. Just all these tanks don't get the chance to do anything. These Hydras are so potent when there's just not that splash damage to help out with them. And you can see these fights keep going worse. Where Striker double the supply of Medina. This Queen play is just so potent, hard to deal with, and Medina has to tap out. Striker, very convincing 2-0 in a really cool style.
Yeah, really well done from Striker, and those clones on the Broodling was just terrifying.
Oh yeah, no, that's absolutely brutal. But you know what? Sadly, all good things have to come to an end. That's the last game we got for you tonight. Hope you got to see every matchup with some great players. Make sure if you missed some of it, go back on the VOD. We've been streaming for like 3.5 hours now. It was a great time. Cole Warvigas, thanks for joining me, buddy. Always a pleasure.
It was fun. Yeah, it's been a while since we cast. We haven't. It was like late in last season that we last casted.
Yeah, probably somewhere around there. Now, if you guys like our CPL content, we're glad you got the hung out. There's the subscribe and Ko-fi links, blah, blah, blah. Just be here tomorrow. That's all I care about. What's tomorrow? It's that team reveal stream. Learn about CPL 7. Again, just going to keep plugging it. It's me, Stormcalling, Snipe, and Age, as we always do. We're going to talk about the season, maybe the maps, maybe the coaches, maybe the teams. Either way, you don't want to miss it. It's a great time. That's tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time. But that's it for tonight. We made it through. We watched a bunch of great games. We didn't look too stupid, I think. Yeah, we did it.
Good job.
Fantastic. We're closing up stream for now. See you all tomorrow. And if you're not here, I'm going to yell at you personally. I'm going to DM you on Discord. But
fine, every one of you.
Every single one of you. I know who's here. But we'll see you tomorrow. Again, noon for the team reveal stream. Be here. It's going to be a great time. Everyone, have a good night.